Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Day 2 of the new Blitz. I'm Jason Minix. He's Joe Reinagel.
It's good to be back. They let us back on after day 1, so I guess we must have said something right in that 3-hour period.
I thought yesterday's first show was a good show.
It was good. What else are we going to say? Yeah, I thought it was great.
Your wife said she liked it. My wife said she liked it. And quite frankly, that's all that matters.
That's
right?
all that matters, right? Well, maybe a few of those folks at the radio station. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting because you always try to figure who's going to give you a true, honest opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah. James Pledger is pointing at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
He said the show was great.
He did.
Yeah, he texted me and said, "Joe, that was the best show I've ever heard."
Yeah, it was the best show he had heard this year. I mean, let's not leave out some of the context there. It was the best show of the year.
That's right.
Now the goal is to be better today. It is interesting though because a dude from the Express News called earlier, and I guess they're working on something. I was like, He's like, "Well, how's the chemistry?" And I said, for a first show. There weren't chemistry issues. You and I have been friends for so long that, we've just taken, kind of bar talk to the radio.
That's exactly right. And we've done a lot of bar talk over the years.
Yeah, a time or three.
Yeah, a lot.
Dozen?
Yeah. Some I probably can't remember. But,
most of them.
It was all good.
Speaking of bar talk, it wasn't going to take long for us to take this thing on the road.
Of course.
Yeah, this coming up Monday, we're going to be at the Roo Pub. 281 in Redland Road.
I love that place.
National championship game. It's my home away from home.
Love that place.
I mean, at some point there at the Roo Pub, I endeavor to have like a chair with my name on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a pretty consistent table that I'm at, but at some point, I think the good people at Roo Pub should put like a little plaque.
I think they should
on the chair.
Sure.
I would say the same for our great producer James Pledger. The problem is James Pledger doesn't ever go to one spot and sits. I mean, he just floats around the entire spot, never in one area. You might put a little tracer around on the floor to follow James. But as you notice, if you watch on the Facebook Live or the YouTube, the dude does not know how to sit.
We didn't know how to stay still. I mean, the guy during this 3-hour show, I promise you, will walk 10,000 steps just around the little studio there.
That's what he does.
That's what he does.
He's always going because Rob Thompson says he makes coffee nervous, with his moving around. But yeah, day 2, Joe, Jason, the Blitz, and man, we've got a lot to get into today.
And I'm looking forward to it, man, because that's what I love about sports. Even when you think maybe, what's going to happen today? Something always happens, and it's always good, especially when you're talking about the Cowboys and Jerry Jones. And oh man, I love that team, actually. Not a fan, but I love them, right?
Well, they're the gift that keeps on giving.
That's exactly right.
And that is what they do. There's lots to talk about with the Cowboys today. We will get into that. Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk will join us at 5:30. We'll also talk with Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio. He'll join us at 5 o'clock. Spurs play tonight against the Toronto Raptors in an empty arena.
Yes.
They're in Toronto. We're going to get into Spurs and Raptors and how well DeMar DeRozan is playing.
Oh, my God.
And how well DeJounte Murray is playing.
He should be back tonight, too, by the way. That's the good news.
Which is, I mean, Lord knows they need him.
They need him.
And when you look at the schedule right now, I mean, there's not a lot of wins on the schedule. Not saying they won't get wins,
right? Because
they have won some games this year that I didn't give them any chance of winning, and they've won some. But when you look at the schedule, you go, man, this losing streak could end up very long.
Tough trip right now, but they get some guys back. COVID's been tough on them here as of late, so that's been an issue.
Now, one of the other things that we're doing this week with Joe Reinagel, who you've watched on your television for the last 25 years at Ken's 5, and you can see him again tonight at 5. We could have saw him last night.
At 10, actually.
At 10.
I'm not going to make
5.
the 5.
You're not going to make the 5. They're not going to set up a camera here in the kitchen. Right.
No.
So Channel 5 at 10.
Yes.
And I meant to watch you last night, but the Monday Night Football game was going late. And the end of that game is why we love sports.
Right.
Seeing Ben Roethlisberger take the knee, the emotions, the victory lap or half lap, but just the whole scene in Pittsburgh last night. As a guy that hates the Steelers, that was awesome to watch last night.
But I was a little bit confused because I saw a little bit of that. I mean, has Roethlisberger actually said he's done? I haven't heard. He has.
Well, no, but his actions.
Well, apparently the fans have said he's done because they gave him a farewell, and it's like, see you, Ben. Hey, it's been nice knowing you, but get out.
Well, that's exactly what it is. Right? It's like, thanks for the memories.
Right.
Right. I mean, there's a great song about that. Thanks for the memories. Right. Yeah, get out.
So I'm watching that, and I'm going, wait a minute. This guy hasn't announced his retirement yet.
I think that's the way to do it, though. He did not want to be a distraction to his team. And in fact, Peyton and Eli on the Manning cast last night and Aaron Rodgers in the fourth quarter were talking a lot about how he handled the exit because he didn't want to be a distraction to his team. He wanted it to be about the game. But he clearly has told the organization, or the organization has clearly told him that he ain't coming back. They were talking about all the extra helmets and jerseys and things that he signed for teammates this week. And, there is another game next week.
Right.
And there could be a playoff game, but this was his last one at Heinz Field. And while he didn't make the announcement, it was clear and obvious that the decision has been made just by his reaction. And it was an incredible scene last night there at Heinz Field.
It was a good scene, and that's great. But, I mean, I really don't understand. If you're a guy like Ben Roethlisberger, well, you've won a couple of Super Bowls, right? You've been pretty good for that city. I mean, why not announce it? Why not get the accolades and go out? A distraction. I mean, that team's horrible. They're not good. So what's going to distract them any more than they've been distracted all season? I mean, I love the way the fans did it, Jason, but, I mean, come on. Announce it already.
Well,
I'm done.
I mean, there are those that want the rocking chair tour, right?
Right.
Like I'm retiring. This is my last year. Every city I go to, you're going to give me a gift, and you're going to give me that. Or kind of like how Tim Duncan did it. Just walk off the court, raise your hand, and you're done. I think Timmy knew it was his last year, although we were all speculating, but we didn't know. I appreciate an athlete that will do that as opposed to well, I'm going on tour. This is going to be my final year. Let's say goodbye to everybody and all that. I like the way Big Ben did this.
Well, here's the difference in Big Ben and maybe Timmy. Timmy, we figured it was his last year. But with Big Ben, I don't think he started the season thinking this is my last year. True. I think as the season went on, he realized, you know what? I just can't play the way I used to play. I'm old. I don't have it anymore, and it's time to go do something else. And maybe he figured that out about week 10. That it's done. It's over. And maybe it took him that long.
I don't know. I know some diehard Steeler fans, Kevin Brock.
Yes.
That have been ready for Big Ben to retire for a couple of years now. So, I mean, a lot of fans have known he was done. And I think this year he finally realized he was done. And Mike Tomlin probably realized. And then the question is, who are they going to go get?
Wow.
And, that's going to be great speculation in the offseason. I'll maintain Deshaun Watson, make a trade, get him in there. He's never had a losing season. Ben hasn't. Mike Tomlin hasn't. But they need an established quarterback that can go in there and run that franchise.
It's going to be a fun offseason to see about that, especially Deshaun. Deshaun doesn't want to go to Pittsburgh. He wants to go to Miami.
Yeah, but they might have a quarterback. I mean, and again, it's going to be interesting to see. I think at this point, I don't know if Deshaun gets to choose. Well, I don't know how much leverage Deshaun Watson now has when it comes to his destination. At the beginning of this year, there was a lot of leverage. And then, one accusation after another has taken a lot of that leverage away.
Yeah, one of those strippers might determine where he goes after she owns him. Oh, yes, that's what it was.
I don't know if you find a massage therapist on Instagram. What do you?
I don't know. My mistake, but they might own him and tell him where he needs to go.
As long as he's making money, so he can make the payments. And that's what it's going to boil down to. One of the things, though, with Joe Reinagle here, we're going to do this all week long. We're going to get to know Joe Reinagle. And through that, now I've known Joe for a long time, since 1993 when we were working at KTSA Radio. And I feel like I know a lot about you. But I learned something about you today that makes me just shake my head. I mean, in all reality, and we'll get into that coming up. But James, you're looking at me like I'm supposed to. I'm just going to tease this for a while. But there, when we reveal this a little bit later on in the show, I think a lot of people are going to question Joe Reinagle on certain things.
I think a lot of people are going to say, you know what? He is absolutely right.
I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think so. It's one of those. It's one of those things where you go, seriously? And if you do, you don't tell anybody.
No, you absolutely.
I mean, you don't. Although we're going to tell everybody.
We're going to tell everybody. I'm proudly going to tell everybody, and then everybody will follow suit. You watch this.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will see. We will do that coming up at I got it at 4:45.
Okay. 4:45.
Around 4:45. Yeah. Joe will lose his San Antonio card. we will get into that. I mean, I think even James Pledger is going to be disgusted by this.
No, I don't think so.
I could be wrong, because he's a garbage disposal. But I do think there could be something here. If you want to be a part of the show, it's easy to do on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. And as we say, the Dallas Cowboys are the gift that keeps on giving. And, there's a lot of interesting things going on with the Cowboys this week as they gear up for the final game of the regular season. They will have a playoff game. So we know there is life after this weekend for the Cowboys, and they plan on playing everybody. But one of the interesting things, and it kind of started with Rudy J, our conversation into this. Rudy J from R&R in the Morning posted on his social something about, how jealous Tony Romo must be of Dak Prescott, saying he'd have 2 rings if Tony Romo was quarterbacking this Dallas Cowboys team. And I don't want to say Rudy J is wrong. He's flat wrong on this when it comes to this. And I am a huge Tony Romo fan. I am a card-carrying Romo-sexual, and I was the one on radio when everybody was bashing Tony Romo saying, dude, I'm a Tony Romo fan. I always have been. But I look at the way this offensive line is right now. Tony Romo would be broke right now. Tony Romo couldn't stay healthy. Tony Romo wouldn't win rings with this current team, which isn't as good as the 2014 team. Des caught it. That team would have won a Super Bowl if the refs got that call right. But with this team, I don't know that the results would be any different.
Well, the one thing about Tony Romo, if you remember, and what I loved about that guy, he was Houdini. He would get out of stuff that you think, oh, he's dead there. And then, oh, there goes Tony completing a pass. And I was a Tony Romo fan, too. I like Tony Romo. I'm a Dak Prescott fan. I like Dak Prescott. I like the way he handles himself, and I like the way he plays football. But again, there's some issues there. There really are. And even diehard Cowboy fans have to see this. Even the rabid ones that think, it's all the ref's fault and, the Cowboys do no wrong. They have to realize there's something wrong. And I think it all stems from really that offensive line. I know we're going to talk about that as well, because it's just, there's an issue there.
And like Tony Romo, Dak Prescott faces this division amongst Cowboy fans.
Right.
I mean, there's a camp, it's almost like, politics. Are you on this side or are you on that side? There are those that love Dak and think he can be a great franchise quarterback and lead this team to Super Bowls, kind of like with Tony Romo. And then there's others that think he's worthless and Jerry made the biggest mistake. And it's the way Jerry defends Dak Prescott while throwing other position groups under the bus. He did it again today. Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan up in Dallas on one of his regular interviews, was talking about the Dallas Cowboys and the wide receiver groups. And again, he goes back and talks about how route running has been an issue. There's not a problem with the quarterback. It's all about route runners. Never mind that Amari Cooper is one of the best route runners in the NFL.
I think that when I look at what we do, the biggest thing I see is the precision of the route running. Now, he's the best route runner in my mind.
Amari.
I would call him the best route runner in football.
Yep.
But that is not the same thing as running to making the cut 9 yards deep, making the cut X distance away from the hash mark.
Now, I don't want to interrupt Jerry there, but isn't route running and running precise routes running the route at the right depth and cutting at the right spot?
I really don't know what he's talking about.
I don't think Jerry does either.
Running to making the cut 9 yards deep, making the cut
X route running
distance away from the hash mark. We as a team need to be more crisp in our route running. And we're just talking about the route running. I can go down through every position with you.
Sure.
And so the kind of thing that we're talking about right there has to do with the individual receiver basically being precise on his route, on his cuts when he makes his cut, how deep he goes before he changes direction, those kinds of things. And so those are kinds of things I think that are stand out when I look at the tape.
Ramble. Let's deflect. And I think that's what Jerry is doing here. Amari, you are the best route runner in the NFL, but if we can get you to be a little bit more precise, right? I think what Jerry is trying to do
then
is
Dak would not overthrow you by 10 feet.
But is Jerry here being a master salesman and disguising like, look, man, this car is fantastic. It runs great. Needs a new engine, but man, it is pretty and it looks good. And we get some tires on it. It's going to go really fast. But right now, you should buy this because Dak hasn't been right. But does it actually stem from the offensive line and the issues they're having with the offensive line? But Jerry doesn't want to put that out in the universe. He's trying to protect that group while this offense is trying to figure out why it is not scoring 30 points a game.
So you think he's trying to protect the offensive line?
Yes.
Maybe that
and
makes
Dak,
it.
And Dak.
But why? I don't understand. And unless we don't know Dak behind the scenes, is he a guy that whimpers in the corner when he goes in the locker room because he's had a bad game? I just don't see Dak that way.
I don't see him that
way.
Right?
So what is Jerry's point by protecting Dak? I think Dak would come out and say, look, I made some bad throws. It was on me. And I got to do better. And I think he said as much after the game the other day. So I'm really not sure where Jerry is going there or why he is trying to sell this as hard as he's trying to sell, because this is what, the fourth or fifth week he's done this.
He's done it multiple times talking about route running, but the offensive line hasn't been good. And he doesn't want to talk about issues with the offensive line. I do think you look at a Tyrant Smith who's now 31 years old. He has been in the league since 2011. At one time was the best left tackle in football. That was ancient history in football terms. Zach Martin is 31. At one point, the best guard. And it is still one of the best guards, but he's not what he was. Tyler Biadasz is struggling at center, trying to replace Travis Frederick. And to the point where you kind of miss Joe Looney. And nobody thought we would miss Joe Looney.
I miss Joe Looney. Greatest soundbite machine ever.
I mean, yeah, of course, reporters and media miss Joe Looney for a variety of reasons. But I think it stems from the offensive line. Zeke can't run. Pollard can't run. And ESPN had a stat earlier today about Dak Prescott. And it's not necessarily a fair stat because Dak didn't play a whole lot last year. And, it was hurt, when he snapped his ankle against the Giants. But the largest drop-off in total QBR from last year to this year, Baker Mayfield is at number 1 at 30.3. Well, that would make sense. We've all seen Baker, right? Dak is number 2 at 22.9. And then Ryan Tannehill is number 3 at minus 10.5. So, I mean, who would think that Dak, elite-level quarterback, would be in a pairing or a grouping with Baker Mayfield and Ryan Tannehill?
I wouldn't, although, look, you got to take Tannehill with a grain of salt. All right, he's not good, but that team, that's not his job.
I rode Ryan Tannehill to the championship of my bad quarterback league. He was perfect for a bad quarterback league. That's what you need to know about him.
Well, and that's good, but I mean, look at ancient history in football, right? You got Terry Bradshaw, never threw the ball ever, right? They ran the football. They won Super Bowls. You got Ryan Tannehill, who's not a good quarterback, but he's got a good running game. That defense is playing well. Who cares how many passes he completes? They're the number 1 seed in the AFC right now, and they're doing it without the best running back in the league. So Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys, they've got to try to run the football. They can't do it, and so Dak's having to do it with his arm. And that's an issue right now.
Well, and again, you kind of go back to Kellen Moore and play calling. At some point, even with the offensive line struggling, don't you run the ball more just to prove that you can? Try to set up the play action pass. I try to, look at Kellen Moore and, then it's like, okay, we'll find out, like the first game of the year against Tampa Bay. One of the most incredible games we've seen Dak Prescott play. But he threw it 50 whatever times. Then you find out, well, he checked out of however many dozen run plays into pass plays because of the defense. Did that happen again this last week when they just abandoned the run game. I know penalties and officiating, stalled drives, they never found a rhythm, but at some point, you got to stop with these underneath passes. At some point, you have to take shots.
Well, you got to take shots, but the problem, if you saw the game against Arizona, you saw the safeties were deep, and they were doing that every time, forcing Dak to throw the ball underneath. CeeDee Lamb, I don't know if the Cardinals were just focused on him, but he was a no-show. Amari Cooper, again, I'll say it again. I said it yesterday. Cooper was open. Now, if Jerry's right and he wasn't running the right routes and Dak missed him because of that, I don't know. Maybe that's part of it. But Dak missed a lot of wide open receivers. He had opportunities and he missed them.
But if Amari Cooper is the best route runner in the NFL, according to Jerry Jones,
Cooper Kupp is the best route runner in the NFL.
He's going to break a whole lot of records.
I'm just saying.
And again,
now,
I mean, he's a guy that can get
going.
open. But if Amari Cooper is one of the best route runners in the NFL, and you've got a quarterback missing, and then you've got Jerry talking about when to make the cuts and all that kind of stuff, doesn't that come back down to time in the pocket? Is Dak being protected enough for those routes to be run precisely and the ball to be on time? And the answer is no. Go back and if you watch the game that they put on the NFL Network where it's, they cut all the stuff out and you start. Very rarely does Dak Prescott go back to throw and have a clean pocket. It doesn't stay clean for whatever reason.
Okay, then I'll throw that back on Kellen Moore. Then roll him out. Do something to buy Dak a little more time. I mean, get creative. If you know your offensive line is hurting, they're not protecting the quarterback, you can't run the football, then get Dak outside the pocket and have him do something creative. I mean, you can't just keep running the same plays if they're not working. Do something else. Get creative.
Well, and, you go back the first couple weeks of the season, oh, man, best new offensive coordinator. He's going to head coaching job here, there. You hadn't heard his name mentioned. I mean, Jacksonville is interviewing everybody, but he's on that list apparently.
Of course.
He's not.
I think you're on that list.
Well, you're on that list. Pledge is on that list like Oprah. You get an interview. You get an interview. Right. You get an interview. And to me, it's just like Jerry is going back to this well on route running, and for the life of me, I don't get it. I mean, we know what Amari Cooper is. CeeDee Lamb, probably not the best route runner, but he's in the area. And quarterbacks in the NFL, dude, you got to throw guys open. At some point, throw them open. I mean, when your tight end is getting all the targets, does that mean he's checking down? Are those guys not getting open? Are the disguises from the defense confusing Dak? And it's just, the playoffs start in 2 weeks. And the Dallas Cowboys, who the day after Christmas looked like a team that could make that long Super Bowl run. 1 week later, not so much.
Yeah, and they're going to play a good football team. They're going to play the Rams or the Cardinals again. And I think the Cardinals will get it healthier than they were in this last game. And if you're talking about the Rams, they got a pretty good pass rush. So that's going to be an issue. So something's got to be fixed between now and then for sure.
656 ESPN 656-3776. Let's go to the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines. Gary wants to talk about route running. Gary, welcome into the Blitz.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say something about the route running, but I totally agree with you. The biggest problem with the Cowboys right now is that offensive line. It's that offensive line, because when you have 9 penalties, just have 3 penalties. And think of all the times you would have had some first downs, which could have led to bigger things. Your quarterback wouldn't be running in front of it. But anyway, let me get back to this. This is just my opinion. My granddaughter just got through taking a biology class, and one thing she was talking about was precision versus accuracy. And I think on that route running, I think Jerry is just reiterating what he heard from one of the coaches. I think, can you go down and run a 10-yard route and do that every time like it's supposed to? If you can do it over and over and over and over, you're precise. But accuracy, are you going down at 10 yards, making that cut and carrying it across the field? Because Amari goes down, he makes that cut, he's open. He's like, hit me with the ball, Dak. Dak's throwing it where he thinks he's supposed to be going. I think if you open, you got to hit him. Because
I agree. Gary, appreciate the call in the biology lesson.
Yeah,
but,
I like that.
But you look at it. I mean, we haven't really questioned Dak's accuracy throughout his career. He's proven to be a pretty accurate quarterback. Sure. So if Jerry's trying to protect his inaccurate slump that he's in right now, for lack of better words, does that go back to the calf injury? Does that go back to the arm issue they had in training camp? I mean, because they keep telling us he's healthy, but our eyes are telling us something completely different.
Absolutely. And you go back to that is the fact that I guess Amari Cooper early in the season was running those routes perfectly. And all of a sudden he forgot how to run routes.
Well, you know, as the things go on,
is that what happens?
Lazy.
You get a little older, I guess you forget things. Right?
We know he's dealt with some injuries. They got a week to get things right. And you look at where the Cowboys are right now, they got a week to get things right. They're playing this week against the Eagles. A meaningless football game for both teams, and the Eagles are going through a ton of COVID right now. Right. I mean, they're going to be without a lot of guys. You know, if you've got guys banged up, this is a chance to get them some rest. Then you have the rest versus rust debate and all that kind of stuff. Jerry, he's the boss.
Well, we plan to play. We plan to play to win.
Yeah, they're going to play. Everybody's going to go play. Rest. Have you seen our team? They haven't earned rest. They got a week to try to get things right, get some momentum heading in to that playoff game against the Cardinals, or whoever it may be.
Well, and that's a dangerous roll of the dice. It really is, because it is a meaningless football game. I think the Eagles could move up in the seedings one way or the other, but both teams are in the playoffs, so it is meaningless. You can do what you want. I think it's dangerous. Maybe you approach it like a preseason game. Maybe you play the starters the first half and then get the other guys in the second half. But it's a roll of the dice. Either way you slice it.
There's always the debate. Last night on the Manning cast, Aaron Rodgers was talking about it. Depending on the result will depend on the argument that you're going to have. He brought up examples. One year they rested everybody and came out and just got completely destroyed and threw a bunch of interceptions, and other times they keep playing, they get on a roll. So, hindsight's always 20/20 on
Very
what
true.
The right decision is in a situation like this. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. You want to be a part of the show? The Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 on Twitter. He is at Joe Kens 5. I am at Jason Minix. Pledges on Twitter at I am Pledger. Spurs play tonight. Spurs and Raptors in Toronto in an empty arena. We'll talk about it as we continue here on the Blitz right after we get a Sports Center update from a well-dressed James Pledger.
Well, thanks a lot, Jason. We'll start things off in the NFL with those Dallas Cowboys, who could be getting tight end Blake Jarwin back soon, as they designated him for return from the injured reserve, which opens the 21-day window for him to return to practice before they can activate him off the IR. Jarwin's been on the IR since October 31st, when he injured his hip in the Cowboys' 20-16 win over the Minnesota Vikings. In the NBA tonight, the San Antonio Spurs will return to the floor, as they'll be in Toronto to take on the Raptors. The Spurs are 14-21 and have lost 3 straight, while the Raptors are 16-17 but have won 2 straight coming into tonight's game. San Antonio will be without DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, and Doug McDermott for this evening's game, with tip-off set for 6. And don't forget, Game Night San Antonio helps to get you ready for it on the Blitz. In college hoops, the UTSA Roadrunners beat Dallas Christian College 101-48 last night at the Convocation Center, led by Jordan Ivy Curry, 17 points in just 18 minutes. The 14th-ranked Texas Longhorns, who are 11-2 and 1-0 in the Big 12, head to Manhattan, Kansas, to take on the 8-4 and 0-1 Kansas State Wildcats, with tip-off set for 6, while the Texas A&M Aggies open up SEC play against the Georgia Bulldogs tonight at 6. I'm James Pledger.
I need postcards printed and designed. Oh, and a targeted direct mail campaign.
It's possible at Staples.
I need my presentation printed, bound, and perfect.
Also possible. Your local Staples store can help your business navigate the future of work with custom printed sales and marketing materials. Now get 25% off custom printed labels, postcards, flyers, brochures, and more when you spend $60 or more. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 1/29, in-store only. See staples.com/print for details.
You probably wouldn't leave thousands of dollars on the table at a diner. Why leave thousands on the table with your tax return? Jackson Hewitt will help make sure you don't. This year, there are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits. Your Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro will help you track down every last one, so you get your biggest refund guaranteed. Don't leave thousands on the table this year. Discover thousands of dollars in tax credits instead. Learn more at jacksonhewitt.com.
Joel, I'm committed to getting into shape, working out, exercising every day.
Great idea, you little fat buddy.
I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da!
The Row and Go?
It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes, schools, offices, and buildings stay in tip-top shape. Every plumbing issue, every AC problem, it's our mission to fix them as fast as we can at a fair price. From the penthouse to the outhouse, call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
The Row and Go. It's going to change the way we exercise. And here's my tagline, Row and Go. It's fitness while you do your fitness.
Make it stop.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 651-5899. That's 651-5899.
License number M13229, TACLA 000743458.
Did the guy driving the 18-wheeler which wrecked into you focus too much on looking at himself in the mirror and not the road in front of him? His hair is still a mess and now you're seriously hurt. If you or a loved one is hurt in a wreck with an 18-wheeler or company vehicle, don't call just any dude. Call the dude, the personal injury dude. Mark Poling at Poling Law PLLC at pidude.com. That's pidude.com. Or call 210-201-0303, 24 hours a day.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Jason Minix here for River City Oral Surgery. If you need your wisdom teeth out, a tooth pulled, dental implants, you need to know about Dr. Mark Havercorn at River City Oral Surgery. He offers direct patient care, so you don't need a referral. You simply call, make an appointment, and all prices are listed on the website. That's one of the great things when you go to rivercityoms.com. Even if you have dental insurance, River City Oral Surgery will probably still be less, and all prices are all inclusive, including your post-op care. You know exactly what it's going to cost you before you go in. Free market medicine is the way to go. You know what you're going to pay, and you know you're getting the best care. People drive from all over the state to see Dr. Havercorn, who is an oral surgeon. He's a specialist medical doctor, and he treats people of all ages. Call 210-778-0002 or go to the website rivercityoms.com. rivercityoms.com.
Tune in to the Blitz today for the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Catch up on the latest injuries and how it'll affect your team. The Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics, online at tsaog.com.
This is The Blitz with Joe Reinagle and Jason Minix. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He's Joe Reinagle.
Good afternoon.
You doing all right?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
And I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah.
It's day 2, the new Blitz. We're going to get to know Joe here in about 10 minutes, something that I didn't know about Joe today that really makes me rethink our long friendship. It really does. And it has something to do with eating. And you know, I like to, my lunches are generally, although I had a good lunch today, but my lunches are generally not the best. Dinners, I eat well. I've learned how to grill during the pandemic. That's why we do grilling with the Blitz every Thursday. You did some grilling over the holidays. Upload a photo of that meat on your grill. Enter it at sasportstar.com. You could win a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. Would do that every Thursday here on the Blitz. Now, you like to grill a little bit, right?
I love to grill, yeah. But, going back to you grilling, I've seen a lot of pictures. I don't really know if they're real. I have never witnessed you grilling in person.
Were you not at the house the other day eating brisket?
I don't know if you grilled that. I didn't see you grill it. You might have bought that somewhere.
All right, so my daughter's in Phoenix. My niece just moved out. She's living in Nashville now. There is a guest room available if you want to be here when I'm actually doing the grilling. Your brother is actually my neighbor. You go crash at his house, but if you want to come over when you like, I got a neighbor who will knock on the door. It's like, "What you grilling?" It's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "I can smell it."
Well, again, it's kind of like seeing Bigfoot. I haven't seen you grill. All I've seen is the finished product that, I don't know. You might have gotten that at a fine barbecue establishment.
Yeah, this is true. Although a lot of times I'll post like what it looks like naked and then seasoned up and then the finished product.
Again, Jason, until I see it live and in person, it's it's like looking for Bigfoot or a Martian or UFO or something.
For my neighbor Hal, he does it all. I just take all the credit.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the kind of guy
I haven't seen it yet. This is the second day in your kitchen here, your dining room. I still haven't seen any barbecue, so I'm just saying.
I really had planned on doing some good steaks tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
I was, because Tri-County Meat Markets, they're closed today and they were closed yesterday, but it's going to be back open tomorrow. And I was going to go over there tomorrow, get some porterhouses and grill them during the show. And then I got an email from the boss. We have to go to the studio tomorrow, so that's out. So the fact that you aren't getting a steak tomorrow, blame Greg Martin.
Well,
because apparently we have to go back to work. We can't do it in the kitchen tomorrow because we have to go to not even the studio. We're going to the Alamo Lounge, which is just like being in the kitchen just without the grill.
I had some good food at the Alamo Lounge the other day.
You did?
Yeah, you were here, but yeah, we went. That was a little Christmas party.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't guess you were invited that day.
I was. It was actually the day my daughter graduated college. I was in Phoenix.
It's funny how they planned it on that day.
Well, I know they did that on purpose. What they order in? Is it sandwiches?
Yeah,
Jimmy John's.
No.
Are you sure?
It was a bunch of good stuff. It really was. It slips my mind at the moment, but
it was memorable.
I remember aluminum trays full of stuff, and we went around like a buffet, and it was nice. Yeah, it was
I'm
good.
Just saying, I was going to do porterhouses tomorrow.
Okay, yeah,
that's one of my favorite steaks to do, and then we would talk about whether
keep looking for Bigfoot.
The Spurs or Raptors get a win tonight. The Spurs team right now, it's just hard to gauge, because they've been dealing with COVID in the schedule hasn't been kind to the Spurs over the last week or so.
No, it hasn't. And there've been, 3 guys out. DeJounte Murray's missed 3 ball games, and he's been huge for this team. In fact, he's getting calls to be an all-star. And I think it's well called for. And I think it would really be a travesty if he doesn't make the team in some form or fashion. Now, as well as I do, the starters, a lot of it is a popularity contest.
A lot of it? All of it?
All of it. Okay. So DeJounte, let me just throw this out to you really quick. 18 points a game, averaging 8.5 rebounds a game, and 9 assists per game. Now, let me just compare that to one of the greats in Steph Curry. 27 points, he's got him killed there, but only 6 assists and 5 rebounds. So tell me who's having a better year.
Well, I look at the NBA standings and will tell you who's having the better year. I mean, but are you saying that you would rather have DeJounte than Steph?
I'm not saying that. Steph Curry is probably he's the best shooter of all time.
One is the 1 seed in the Western Conference, and the Spurs are the 11th seed.
But it's an all-star
in the
game.
Western Conference.
It's about individual performances.
Right. Well, and I'm not saying DeJounte should not be an all-star. In fact, I think DeJounte should be an all-star. But a starter I mean, when you look at the voting, I mean, Spurs Twitter's doing an incredible job helping him out, but I have a hard time rewarding a player on a non-playoff team with some of that. Now, at his level, with what he's doing, especially when I look at what DeMar DeRozan is doing in Chicago, who is having an incredible year, clearly those two guys weren't a good fit together because they're both playing so much better without each other.
You know, it's interesting you say that, and I guess you could look at it a couple of different ways. I think with DeJounte, the fact that DeMar was there, DeJounte couldn't be DeJounte completely, right? So now that DeMar's gone, you see DeJounte Murray and what he can do. With DeMar, that begs a whole different question. I don't think it has anything to do with DeJounte Murray. Who was it? How do you figure it? I mean, DeMar DeRozan is having maybe a career year, and he's got the Chicago Bulls number one right now, and they're just incredible. I think they won, 8 in a row, something like that.
And back-to-back games with game winners at the buzzer.
Absolutely. The guy's just been incredible.
And what I got to think about how I phrase this. What I don't get with DeMar DeRozan, while he was with San Antonio, he was a guy that I did not want to have the ball in his hands with 10 seconds to play and the game is on the line. For whatever reason, when he was here, I just never have that. Rudy J, go scroll back a little bit, Pledge.
Yeah, let me see that again.
Rudy J, you need to put your glasses on to read that on Facebook Live. Rudy J from R&R in the morning says Joe is drinking the DeJounte juice too.
I'm not sure what that means.
Well,
is Rudy J? Is he drinking that juice as well?
No, I don't.
He's not.
I don't know if he is or not.
Rudy J's a smart guy, so I would imagine he probably is.
Well, I just saw some stuff on Twitter earlier. I think Carolina Teague, when she was on doing the shoot around this morning with R&R with Rob and Rudy, I think she was drinking the juice and he was trying to knock the cup over, based on what I saw on Twitter. Rudy J, like every great guy that has a job that requires you to give an opinion, says he is on the fence. Which is the last place a talk show host needs to be, Rudy J. Let me just tell you, I am on the fence.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Let me see how this plays out, and I'm going to tell you I was right all along.
Exactly. Like you just did a minute ago. We'll get back to that.
About what?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
When?
With the catch, the Cowboys would have won the Super Bowl.
They would have won the Super Bowl if that ref would have got it. It took him 3 years to right or wrong, but the Cowboys still don't get a Super Bowl trophy. Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio will join us coming up at 5 o'clock. We'll talk more Cowboys with Charean Williams at 5:30. But coming up, get to know Joe.
Yes.
And we're going to reveal something that Joe said to me, not realizing that I was going to blow this up. I mean, it was just, I'm like, dude. We'll get into it coming up. If there's something you want to know about the great Joe Reinagle, I mean, he's been in your living room for 25 years.
It looks fabulous, too, by the way.
2.5, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, he's there. But, with TV personalities, you know who they are, but you don't really know them. Like radio, we talk about everything.
Sure.
Right? Which is why we're about to blow them up and disappoint a lot of you about Joe Reinagle. But if you've got something you want to know from Joe, 656-ESPN, 656-3776, or on Twitter at JoeKens5. You can tweet at me at Jason Minix. Monday, we're taking the Blitz on the road. We're going to be live at the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road, getting you ready for the national championship game. You listen to this show enough, the Roo Pub is my spot, my go-to place. No better place to watch a game than at the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland, because of those 3 massive 170-inch screens. They've got TVs all around, and the food is fantastic. All made from scratch. They have the best, probably the biggest wings in town. About 15 different burgers on the menu. They got incredible appetizers. Those Philly cheesesteak fries are fantastic. The onion rings for people like Joe. They have wonderful salads. The kitchen is open late till 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. So if you're out driving around, you're out doing something late, you don't want to get your food at a drive-thru window. Get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redland Road. They have happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6, so great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub, next to the Angry Elephant at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
We're ready for y'all.
Let's go!
The NFL playoff picture is coming together.
I like it.
Hear it unfold on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
America's best high school football players are coming to Texas. It's the All-American Bowl on Saturday, January 8th at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Trevor Lawrence, Ezekiel Elliott, and Micah Parsons played here. Join us for a day of exciting football to see the best of the best at the All-American Bowl, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game presented by H-E-B. 2 exciting games for $10 in the lower bowl. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.
Deep breaths. Mai's virtual meditation studio has never been busier.
Imagine not working.
They need a remote assistant to realign their scheduling.
Blank calendar. Sorry, back to your breath.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Make calls, schedule virtual interviews, and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
I know you've been waiting a little bit longer than normal.
Jen's manicure spot needs an extra pair of hands.
Who's at the front desk right now?
Someone who's handy with everything from nail files to spreadsheet files.
Deidre's not coming in today, but we have that whole bachelorette party.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Lowe's home team came back for a second season focusing on making homes and hometowns better for all. With the help of their general manager, Drew Brees, and players like Najee Harris and Justin Fields, they tackled community projects in hometowns, while also inviting DIYers to join the Lowe's home team by taking on DIY projects of their own. Select pros rounded out the 2021 Lowe's home team. Learn more about the Lowe's home team at lowes.com/home team.
Find your next amazing getaway at the South Texas RV Super Sale. Hundreds of RVs, every shape and size. Small pop-up campers to spacious motorhomes, toy haulers, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more from South Texas' best dealers. RVing will change your life. Fall in love with the unexpected joy of the No Limits RV lifestyle. Check out a free seminar. Never stop looking for your next big adventure. Discover RVing at the South Texas RV Super Sale, Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall, January 6th through the 9th. Doors open at 10 a.m.
The largest RV show in South Texas comes to the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall, January 6th through the 9th. Register to win tickets now at sasportstar.com. You can also buy tickets now at southtexasrvsupersale.com.
Everything's bigger in Texas. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagel, new co-host of the Blitz, started yesterday. You can still see him at 10 o'clock on the 10 o'clock news on Ken's 5.
Yep, that's right. I'll be there tonight at 10. But I tell you what, it has just been it's been a blast being here the last couple of days. And it's just nice to have an opinion and not be on the fence and you know, talk sports.
And in television, you don't really get to give an opinion as the anchor man.
Well,
I mean, every now and then, but I mean, you get, 3 minutes, 3.5, whatever time Bill Taylor leaves you, you get that.
That's pretty much right.
You get that for sports. I mean, I've never understood, especially in South Texas, why he gets like 12 minutes, or it feels that way, especially in the summertime. I mean, when there's severe weather, absolutely. But sunny and hot again. Here we go. Right. Hey, I mean, back to you, Joe. Right? I mean, no offense, Billy T.
Yeah.
But I look at that. And so, yeah, you 3 hours, give your opinion. Yeah, don't be on the fence.
I love it.
Pick a side, stick with it, and go with it, or you have the right to change your mind. You don't even have to stick with it. I mean, but pick a side. Don't be on the fence. Now, something he should be on the fence about, though, as we get to know Joe.
Josh Primo is a baby.
Getting to know Joe.
I don't know what Jonathan Primo has to do with that.
Josh Primo,
whatever.
He is a baby.
He is.
Yeah, he's a baby.
He just said that. When was that from, Pledge? Or did you just hit the wrong button?
Well, I did hit the wrong button.
All right.
But I had to rearrange my hotkey page so things aren't where I'm used to them being.
All right. Well, let's set this up again.
That was from when he called into halftime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because Michael Jimenez, that's a whole nother debate that's going to happen at some point in time, too. That whole, tanking thing that Jimenez got on, and I got a little upset with him.
Well, and again, I mean, at least he had an opinion. All right? He's not on the fence. He's not on the fence. All right, let's do it again. Let's get to know Joe.
Getting to know Joe.
So we're doing the show in the Minix Kitchen Studios, which apparently is coming to an end, unfortunately.
Yes.
But you're still working at Channel 5. I mean, you leave here and you go to the TV station.
Yes.
Well, people don't understand or realize it takes hours to put together that newscast. And so, yesterday during the show number 1, the one thing we didn't think about is when are we going to feed Joe? Because, this show ends at 7. And I was like, so you're going to go home and have dinner with Maggie? And you're like, no, dude, I got to get out of here. I've got to get to work. I've got to put together my newscast, which is concerning for me now that, because I live fairly close to Ken's TV, the radio station is far away. So I don't know when you're going to eat. And it's not like we have a green room with food services like you TV types, right? So today we were talking, we were trying to figure out, like Joe brought his lunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it. It's in the fridge now, so he'll be prepared because he gets zero break except for the time driving from my house. We're starting tomorrow from the radio station, unfortunately, to the TV station, so you could start slaving away for the 10 o'clock newscast. He's like, yesterday. Well, you tell the story.
Well, yeah. So I left here, and traffic's pretty good at that time, so it doesn't take that long to get to the station. And I thought, well, I can make it. I'll be okay. But then I was driving down Fredericksburg Road, and the light just called me. Beep, beep, beep. The Dairy Queen light.
The Texas stop sign.
The Dairy Queen light was right there, and I said, man, you know what I haven't had from Dairy Queen in a long time? Tacos.
Who the hell gets tacos from Dairy Queen?
Everybody should get tacos from Dairy Queen.
I have never in my life had one, so I'm not going to say they're awful. I'm not going to say they're bad. I'm not going to say anything bad about a Dairy Queen taco, except why the hell, if you're at Dairy Queen, would you order a taco?
I'm telling you, well, they got them on the menu, first of all.
There's
They've had them on there for a long time.
On lots of places I've never
Let me tell you what. It is the best taco you've ever eaten.
Somebody come get the Man San Antonio card, because I can imagine on Fredericksburg Road, near 5400 Fredericksburg, there's a lot of really good taco spots.
Well, I'm sure there are, and I'm not disparaging any of them. I'm just saying at Dairy Queen Taco, you get the 3 tacos for like $5.
$5?
Well, I don't know what it is. It's something like that.
Jack in the Box to get 2 for $1.19.
Yeah, but Jack in the Box is only good if you're drunk.
Well, okay. True. No, I don't know anybody that's ever had Jack in the Box tacos while the sun is out.
Right. So Dairy Queen, you can actually, you set up the tablecloth and the whole thing and the candles, and it's delicious. And their hot sauce is good. And I'm telling you, Jason, I'm going to bring some, right? Rudolph's, the DQ tacos are like Jack in the Box, a piece of grease with lettuce and cheese. Not true, Rudolph. Not true. Dairy Queen beats Jack in the Box by miles.
That doesn't surprise me. But Jack in the Box, based on their commercials, they're not designed for sober eating.
No, they're not.
They're not.
That's why everybody thinks they're good. Because you ate them when you're drunk.
Well, and again, every now and then you go get something. I hadn't had this in a while, and you realize why you haven't had it in a while, and then it'll be a while before you go get it again. But at Dairy Queen, outside of a blizzard, the steak fingers, because you get the gravy, is fantastic, or one of their burgers. Every
foot-long chili dog's pretty good.
I've never gotten a chili dog.
Dude, you're not living. I don't know where have you been.
Dude, I'll tell you who has the best chili dog is Freddy's.
Oh, Freddy's. Okay, I haven't had one there.
Freddy's has a good chili dog.
Sonic's fries. Pretty good too.
Sonic?
Yeah.
I think I have had a chili dog from Sonic. But typically speaking, if I'm going out, I'm not getting you get a chili dog at Sonic?
Yes.
But it's all drive-through. You eating that thing in the car?
Well, yeah, sure.
Dude.
They put it in a boat.
Still. See Ryan Eagle at the stoplight wolfing down on a chili dog. But Dairy Queen tacos.
And I'm telling you, try it. Just try it one time. What do you got to lose?
Blow him up.
Dude, I'll even buy them for you. In fact, I may bring some to the radio station tomorrow. I may bring some for the whole station.
Yeah, bring some for me.
Everybody be. See, Pledge wants some.
Pledge is a garbage disposal. And if you bring free food to the radio station, Pledge will eat it unless it has onions on it.
No onions. No onions.
Well, they're not going to go the extra mile. I mean, of all things,
Dairy Queen tacos. I'm telling you, I'm doing you a service. And as Rob Thompson would say, you'll thank me later.
I don't know about that. I think Rob might even question the Dairy Queen taco and that man. I mean, that's just above. Although, honestly, a lot of times gas station food can be pretty good. But there are certain things.
What do you like, gas station sushi or what?
No, never. But I'll tell you what, Stripes might have the best fried gas station burritos anywhere.
See, Fred, right here, Dairy Queen, $1 tacos on Thursday.
$1 tacos. So they can't even get Taco Tuesday, right? They have to go on Thursday because they know on Taco Tuesday people are going to get real tacos.
Dairy Queen, I love you.
Mm-hmm. Your San Antonio card is gone. And again, they might be good, but isn't that one of those things that you just don't tell anybody?
I'll tell everybody. I just did. So,
I know,
yeah.
but I mean, honestly, that's just and Pledge, you've had Dairy Queen tacos?
Yeah, it's a lot like Jack in the Box. They're probably slightly better. They're less grease filled.
Yeah.
Well, they're not fried.
No, they're not fried.
But
it's a real taco.
It's good. It's good. It's not great. It's what you would expect from Dairy Queen. I like them though.
What would I expect from Dairy Queen is not a good taco. I mean, you just answered your own question.
Yeah,
I think about their burgers, or I think about their steak finger strips.
Now you need to start thinking about tacos.
Well, do you get the tacos in less than 15 minutes?
Yeah, pretty quick.
That would be the only reason to order tacos because they are anything but fast at Dairy Queen.
I mean, it's fairly quick. It's less than 15 minutes, but everything there's less than 15 minutes. Dude, I'm telling you, tacos at Dairy Queen. You're welcome. Mm-hmm. Do your spot.
Yeah, all right. Are you sure?
I'm telling you.
I mean, because somebody might cut the power on that. I mean, talking about Dairy Queen, that's just ridiculous. Although there's a Dairy Queen on Perrin Vital, not far from Hill Electric. And if somebody was to cut your power, and you need an electrician, you call Hill Electric. They're available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. Jason Minix here. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house. I've had them put in some extra outlets in my garage. And just recently, they put up a big spotlight, motion lights in the backyard over one of my grills for night grilling, which I didn't think was an issue until the time changed. And I realized, when it's dark at 7 o'clock and you're grilling, you need a good light. And I've got one in there. You need something like that if you're a business and you need some work done at the office because social distance and all that kind of stuff. Hill Electric for over 3 decades. Family owned, serving San Antonio homes and businesses. Whether you need additional outlets, you need some USB ports put in, you got a fuse that's constantly blowing that flickering light. Hill Electric has the right service at the right price. And what's great, never a service charge, and they always give free estimates. So if you're having to rework your office, you need some work done at the house, Hill Electric, great locally owned, family-run business, never a service charge, always free estimates. Call 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or go to the website, hill-electric.com.
I can't wait to watch you guys play!
We're ready for y'all.
Let's go!
The NFL playoff picture is coming together.
Let's go! Let's go!
Are you ready?
You gotta go out there every play and earn it!
Hear it unfold on San Antonio Sports Star.
I like it!
We're serving up all the biggest games you can handle.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate!
Get all the action live on San Antonio Sports Star.
180!
ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
And Doug. And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb.
All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Oh, so close. We were looking for stairs.
Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Why does Walgreens offer copays as low as $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refills? Well, I just did anyways. Fill your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and save.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
See the best of the best, the area's top high school senior players in the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game presented by HEB. January 8th, 5 p.m. in the Alamo Dome. Current NFL pros Marcus Davenport and Josh Reynolds played here. It's the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game following the All-American Bowl. 2 games for $10 in the lower bowl. On sale now at the Dome box office or Ticketmaster. Sponsored by HEB, the U.S. Army, Valero, University Health, Nzera, Thomas J. Henry, PM Group, Whataburger, and Frost.
Was the guy driving the company van next to you too busy taking the infamous car selfie for his dating app when he wrecked into you? He's still single, but now you're seriously hurt. If you or a loved one is hurt in a wreck with an 18-wheeler or company vehicle, don't call just any dude. Call the dude, the personal injury dude. Mark Poling at Poling Law PLLC at pidude.com. That's pidude.com. Or call 210-201-0303 24 hours a day.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
This is the home of the Cowboys, Rangers, and Aggie football. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He's Joe Reinagle. Day 2 of the new Blitz.
I love it. It's been great. A lot of fun. And a lot of things you've gotten to know, right? After all these years.
I mean, for some reason, I think on this Taco Tuesday, I'll have tacos from somewhere but Dairy Queen.
Treat yourself tonight.
Unless my wife is listening and decides to stop and get some on the way home.
Joanna, please bring some Dairy Queen tacos home.
I mean, she was probably going to come home and make tacos.
No, she should.
Which would be better than treat yourself for $1 tacos or $5. Yeah, so it's $5 every day, but on Thursday they're $1.
I don't remember how much it is, but it's something like that. And I didn't know there was a $1 Thursday.
Well,
I learned something, so that's great.
Now, is the idea of you getting tacos a cheap thing? Is like you don't want to spend a lot of money on dinner? Or
no, it wasn't that. It was just that I needed something, fairly
and it was
quick.
Just there.
And this Dairy Queen is like catty corner right across Fredericksburg from the station. So I just pull in the drive-through and get to work.
Yeah, all right. So it was more of a convenience. It wasn't a craving.
No,
I mean, you weren't sitting there going a belt buster.
It was a craving. It was a craving. I'm telling you. And it gets in your blood, Jason.
Uh-huh.
It does.
I can imagine it's part of it. The totally.
Yeah, you got nothing now, right?
I mean, there's some things that you just hear and you just like you got nothing, man. I just because I'm a fan of Dairy Queen for a lot of things, but I've never, even when I've seen tacos on the menu, I've thought, who's ordering tacos here?
Now Joe Reinagle tacos,
and of course,
yes,
it would be Joe. Coming up here in the 5 o'clock hour at 5:30, Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk will join us. We'll get the latest on the Dallas Cowboys as they head into the postseason, as they are trying to figure out, are they playing the best football? CeeDee Lamb says they haven't played the best football yet. They got one more week.
They better hurry.
And then the playoffs are going to start. But right now, let's talk to our good friend Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio joining us now. Doug, trust you had a good holiday, some time off, and lots of news here in San Antonio, especially concerning the San Antonio Spurs. Has nothing to do with players, has more to do with Becky Hammon, as she is now going to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces in the WNBA.
This is a step forward. Being the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces is a step forward and a step in the right direction for myself, for women's basketball, and I think I cannot emphasize the importance of this opportunity that I have, and that I think this is more advantageous for growth. And there's something to being a head coach. I sat in a lot of head coaching interviews, and, I don't think there's two things that people always said, you've only been in San Antonio and you've never been a head coach. Well, I can tell you right now, Mark Davis met me, Nikki met me and said, that's a head coach right now. That's a head coach right now. We're going after her. She's the person. So that's why they got me.
And Becky Hammon speaking yesterday for her introductory press conference, although she's going to stay with the Spurs as an assistant. Doug, you're a basketball guy. Do you like this move for Becky Hammon?
For her, I do. I mean, again, it all depends on what her expectations are. And it's quite obvious she wanted to be a head coach. If she wants to be a head coach in the NBA, I don't like it. I don't think it. I think it does it technically check a resume? Yeah, it checks the box in the resume. I've been a head coach, but it's a different sport. I mean, it just is. The people you're around. Yes, what she's learned from Pop and along her travels as a player herself are going to carry her well. But this is one of two things. It's either Becky Hammon saying, my agent told me I can't get a head coaching job right now in the NBA, and I'm frustrated by it, and I want to just take this, which is a really good opportunity. Or I just wanted somebody to tell me, I just wanted somebody to say I could be a head coach because I've been told no. Because if she thought that she was going to get a head coaching job in this cycle, I don't think there's any way she takes it. And it obviously means that a lot of people thought that the only way she'd get that head coaching job would be with the Spurs, because you kind of have to have the sweat equity of having been there, of having the respect of Powell and Tim Duncan and some of those people. She's not going to be the next coach of the Spurs. So, I mean, to me, it signifies that she knows she can't get a men's job, an NBA job. But maybe it's, in listening to her talk and reading stuff, maybe it's that she just wanted to be told she's a head coach. Not sure.
Well, maybe so. But Doug, so what does that say about the NBA? I mean, is the NBA just not ready for? Is it not ready for a female head coach? Is that what you're saying? I mean, do you think that the NBA is saying we've got to have male head coaches? That's it. We're just not ready.
I don't know. All I can tell you is, she did not get rave reviews. That's why she didn't get the Portland job. She did not get rave reviews. That's why she didn't get other jobs. The NBA would as a league, would love to have a female head coach, and Becky checks so many of the boxes, in her experience as a player and the time spent with the Spurs organization. But I mean, look, everybody else in the Spurs organization is getting better jobs. She's going to, I would guess, make more money than she was making previously, but it's not a vertical move. It's not a lateral move. It's just it's like a different move. It's a weird one, right? If it was the head coaching thing, well, then go take a G League job. I mean, my buddy Miles Simon did that with the Lakers. He's assistant with the Lakers, and he's their G League head coach because he knew he needed to check that box. I mean, look, there's just go ahead and look around the NBA and what is the trend. Mostly former guys that have played that are between late 30s to early 50s, mostly 40s. Guys that played on some level and have been in the league forever. And then you have the other guys are the video guys that have just kind of grinded through it and understand how it works and put together a staff. And so I don't think that the NBA is not ready. It's just going to have to take the right person. And whatever was going on in San Antonio, it wasn't like people said, you have to hire this woman. Outside of Powell, that wasn't the real reviews. What people say in print, say on radio and say on TV, they're not saying behind the scenes. And, that's what killed her in Portland because the owner wanted to hire her.
True. and those stories that came out, there are a lot of questions on, and in San Antonio, obviously, so many people expecting her to replace Greg Popovich. And what this move tells me, Doug, is she has not been giving any assurances that she is the coach in waiting, or Pop has not told her, yeah, this is my last year and I'm going to hand you the keys to the car. It tells me she's been told, if you want to be a head coach, go do it. If you want to be an assistant in San Antonio for a few more years, that's available to you.
Yeah, I think that's more like it. I don't know if she tried to leverage them, but if she was going to be, if she had this, here's the way it works. Okay. She gets offered the job. She calls Pop and says, like, look, I'm going to take it, but unless you tell me, guarantee me, I'm going to replace you. And he probably said, hey, that's not my call. They go up the food chain and they weren't willing to do it. Like, you're right. There's no way you take a job in the WNBA. Right? Because WNBA jobs are now it's more rewarding, and the league has kind of regained some footing, some traction as they moved out of most of these arenas, and the deal's a little bit better, and they're getting a little bit better viewership, whatever. But there's no way you take that job if you're going to be the next head coach of the Spurs. None. You don't. Summer's too important, And this takes you, because when you're the coach, you're the GM. Like it's going to be really, really hard to do the job. Late in the season, once you're putting together a roster, you're worrying about camp. That's a hard deal, a really hard deal.
Yeah, so it's going to be a hard deal for her too, which we've been talking a little bit about, because she says she's going to stay on through April, which is not going to give her a lot of time to, number one, hire a staff, get her philosophy involved and infused in that. So, that begs the question, Doug, and I'd be curious to see what you think about it. Why do you think that she wants to stay with the Spurs until April, or is Pop making her stay with the Spurs until April?
Well, I think she wants to. I think that's credibility, and every time they're on national TV and even local TV, it helps her. Hey, she's the highest paid WNBA coach ever, and this is a good thing. Again, like PR wise, it's going to come up, but we're just talking the reality of business, which is you don't leave the NBA for the WNBA. I mean, I have two friends that are G League coaches that are doing well, and famous WNBA players have reached out to them because G League games are on TV, and both of them were like, "Yeah, I love the league. I just can't do it because it just takes you out of the cycle in terms of because you can't like even if you're going to move to be an assistant on a different staff, that's when the WNBA is playing, and and just like anything, and Becky's the same as anybody else. If you want to be good at something, you got to go all in. She's an all in person, so I think that this is a bit of a white flag at the moment as to coaching in the WNBA. Now, coaching in the NBA, head coaching in the NBA. Now, look, she wins a title, or wins a couple, and they have arguably the best player or two of the 5-10 best players in the WNBA. That happens, and now all of a sudden everything changes, right? And but it's still very, very hard.
Well, and you look at Doug, the Spurs regular season ends April 10th. What if they make the postseason? And then obviously she's not going to leave then. But the WNBA season, the Aces' first game against the Phoenix Mercury is Friday, May 6th, right? I mean, there is zero downtime. I'm surprised she's keeping both jobs, to be honest, but she's made that commitment and she's staying with it.
Yeah, again, sounds good, but I think only Magic Johnson was at work less when he was GM with the Lakers. then she'll be with the Spurs once we get to the spring.
Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio joining us here on the Blitz. Joe Ryan-Egel, new co-host. I'm Jason Minix. Doug, the idea of the name Becky Hammon and what she has built up within the NBA, is there a path, because it's never happened before, for her to now create to go from the WNBA back into the NBA? You mentioned the white flag. Or do you think this is it for her unless she does win a couple of titles, because there is no path really set from the WNBA to the NBA?
It's just hard. The timing of it, right? Like, so you would have to, you get done Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I should probably have to be an assistant to do it, to go back to being an assistant. I would guess, she turned down the Florida job a couple of years ago. It wouldn't stun me if, she uses this to bounce to one of the highest profile college basketball. Because in women's college basketball, generally, the big time, the UConn, Tennessee, Baylor, Nikki Collins is a dear of mine. She was the coach of the Atlanta team in the WNBA. She left to take the Baylor job. And she's like, the WNBA is good if you have a bunch of money and you like the lifestyle of being off for about 7 months, but it's not nearly as prestigious and doesn't pay as well as the best women's job. So my guess would be that you go from this to maybe coaching, an elite college job if one becomes available, more so than going from this to being a head coach in the WNBA. I don't see how it lines out. Now, could I be wrong? Could she have a great year and then a team says, hey, we want to bring her in? Yeah, but I don't know. Again, it takes a lot. Like, look, we have to be reasonable about it. It doesn't make a guy a male chef's pick when he's only played for dudes his whole life, and now he's got a woman as his head coach who he doesn't know. And, it's hard. The respect, it's really, if you look around at all of the coaches that have gotten a job, and the reason Chauncey Billups got a job is it's not just he was a great player. Like, that guy commands respect, and he can look a star in the eye and go like, look, man, I've been there before. I've been traded before. Won the championship before. Right? And generally, as we kind of look around the league, Ime Udoka, he's having a weird year, obviously, with Boston. Now, he didn't have that level of success, but he's been obviously on the bench with the Spurs, and they're great teams and other teams. But he also can say, hey, look, I know what it's like to play in this league, to play back-to-backs. It's just hard for a woman. And you have to have just the right structural build. And the Spurs really are that place. And her leaving signifies to me that they weren't willing to tell her she was going to be the head coach. And that's a bad sign if that's the end-all, be-all for her. It does not feel like there's much of a path.
He is Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio, joining us here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Shifting back into the NBA, Doug. Joe and I were talking earlier about DeMar DeRozan and DeJounte Murray and how each of those individuals are having great seasons now that they've been separated. Where was this DeMar DeRozan in San Antonio, or is it because DeJounte and he just weren't a good mix on the floor in San Antonio?
No, when he was in San Antonio, DeJounte was 1 year he's hurt and he was young and couldn't shoot. And when you have guys who can't shoot, and you're a mid-range pull-up jump shooter, that's kind of hard, isn't it? So I think some of it's about space. Some of it's also, let's also be honest. If you're a star player and you're healthy right now, a lot of times you're going against scrubs. Look at some of the rosters.
Yeah.
If you can't get a call up out of the G League right now, you're telling yourself, or your agent is going like, yeah, man, you might want to head overseas. It's not happening. Everybody's getting called up. So,
dude, you might get a call if even on your bad Achilles, the way things are going, you might get a 10-day contract, Doug.
No, like that would have been me. I would have been like sitting there going like, hey, can I get a call up? I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. We had a couple fires out there, and what they're telling you is, yeah, it's not going to happen, dude. So, but to answer your question, I think we're looking at yesterday through the lens of today, and that's not fair to either of them. I think DeJounte's improved. I think DeRozan has improved, but I also think that DeJounte's improvement comes from, one, being the guy, and two, he's changed his game some. He's improved his game some. The Spurs have kind of built the thing around him a little bit more, So I think there's other parts to it. But it's pretty obvious that right now DeRozan's, running a heater. The question is, what's the ceiling there playing that style? It's almost now to the point where it's one thing to be kind of the best mid-range shooter, but he doesn't even look from three. And it's not even an option. And it's just going to be fascinating to see how this plays out because, over the life of an 82-game season, the analytics community almost always wins.
I just think it's been fascinating to watch what he has done. And we're discounting what DeMar DeRozan did here in San Antonio. I mean, the guy put up some pretty good numbers during his time here. It was just he never had anybody around him. I think the team he's got around him in Chicago is obviously a little bit better, and they mix a little bit better than he mixed here in San Antonio. But I think it's fascinating to see what he's doing there with the Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, Kawhi's the same thing, isn't he? I mean, when Kawhi was healthy, there were times last year he was the best player in the league. You point out Kawhi's been, when healthy, been the best player in the league. And he was really good in San Antonio. Now, that'll lead some people to say, hey, Pop is holding these guys back. I don't believe that to be the case. I believe Pop's about building teams, not about building stars, and the stars come out within teams. And, his record stands for itself. You give them good enough players, you don't win or compete for an NBA title. So, it's also important to remember that, and I know the Bulls are actually a good team, but even the worst team has a leading scorer, right? Like so sometimes we chase box scores and we're like, oh, well, he's automatically played great or he's playing better because he's scoring more. Yeah. Okay. If they were getting beat by 20, I don't care how many points he scored, So I think some of it is structure of the Spurs. Some of it is structure above these teams. I would agree with you. What they built in Chicago is pretty fun and seems to be working. And, Zach LaVine's sitting out there on one wing, and he's on the other. And then, you're rotating in 2 point guards, and Lonzo's really improved his 3-point shooting, and Caruso kind of comes off the bench and gives them energy. Like, that's a good group. But some of it is also the way in which they're playing is not necessarily the way in which, San Antonio's always won. And so I think there's a lot more to it than just, hey, they couldn't work together, or, hey, now DeMar DeRozan's playing good. He was a hell of a player for the Spurs, and obviously he's taken to another level right now.
He is Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio joining us here on the Blitz. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Gottlieb Show. Doug, we're running up against time, but I know you spent a lot of time here in Oklahoma and some other areas. I know you've been to Dairy Queen. Have you ever ordered tacos at Dairy Queen?
Yes.
What?
My son claims that the chicken fingers at Dairy Queen are better than anywhere else. So I don't know. So, but to answer your question, yes, I've had tacos.
And what do you think, Doug?
They're good.
They're good, right?
For the life of me, I mean, if I'm going to Dairy Queen, I'll get their steak fingers or a burger. I'm especially in San Antonio where there's so many great taco spots. I'm not getting tacos at Dairy Queen, but apparently I'm alone. Everybody else seems to.
Hold on. Now that's a different. That's a completely different discussion, right? were we pinched for time? Did somebody in the car, want a DQ, want one of those, like a dip cone, right? Like It's a completely different discussion if you get into context of it. If I'm in San Antonio, like, hey, honey, where do you want to go tonight for tacos? I want to go for tacos. Great, let's go to Dairy Queen. That's a terrible decision. But if it's, hey, I'm starved and I pulled up on a Dairy Queen and my kid wanted a dip cone and I ordered some tacos and they were delicious, well, that I completely approve of.
All right, that makes sense. Although, again, I go back, if I'm at Dairy Queen, it probably is not going to be tacos unless I'm just anti-burger or steak fingers.
In the context that Doug just put that in, though, that's exactly my situation yesterday. When I stopped at Dairy Queen, I was in a hurry. I wanted something good to eat. The tacos are delicious. That's what I got, and I enjoyed them very much. There you go.
Appreciate you, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
Hey, John. Talk to you next week.
Appreciate it. Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio. In context, yes, but that wasn't your situation because on Fredericksburg Road, there are about 87 different places to get good tacos.
But none that you can drive through and get them in somewhat of a hurry.
I somehow have to think that's not accurate.
Well, where?
I mean,
I'm not going to start disparaging other places, but I'd put them up against Taco Cabana, for example. The crispy tacos, either way, I'm choosing Dairy Queen.
Really?
I'm telling you.
Man. But at least at Taco Cabana, you can get the margarita to go.
I mean, you always had to work.
You always
in context.
Dude, I used to work over there with Dan Cook. I know what's under that desk. I kid. Not really. Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk will join us next. But first, let me tell you about River City Oral Surgery. If you need your wisdom teeth out, you need a tooth pulled, you need dental implants, you need Dr. Mark Havercorn at River City Oral Surgery. He offers direct patient care, so you don't need a referral. You just call and make an appointment. It's a cash business. And when I say that, he'll take cash, he'll take a check, he'll take a credit card. They do offer financing. What they won't take is your dental insurance. And if you have dental insurance, River City Oral Surgery is probably still going to be less. And then you could submit a claim and probably get some money back. All prices are listed on the website. They're all inclusive, including your post-op care. Isn't it great when you go to the dentist or a doctor's office and you ask them, how much is this going to cost, and actually get an answer, and that's the actual cost? How often do you go somewhere and they tell you, I don't know? You know why? Because the insurance people are telling them what it's going to cost. At River City Oral Surgery, you're going to know exactly what it is going to cost. Free market medicine is the way to go. You know what you're going to pay, and you know you're getting the best care. People drive from all over the state to visit and see Dr. Havercorn. It's a full-scope oral surgery practice there on 1604 and I-10, basically right across the highway from Topgolf. Call 210-778-0002 or the website for River City Oral Surgery. It is rivercityoms.com. That's rivercityoms.com for River City Oral Surgery. Mother Football, Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk joins us next, right after SportsCenter with James Pledger.
Thanks, Jason. We'll start off with the San Antonio Spurs, who return to action tonight as they take on the Toronto Raptors up in Toronto. The Spurs are 14-21 and have lost 3 straight, while the Raptors are 16-17 and are winners of 2 straight. San Antonio will be without DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, and Doug McDermott for tonight's game. Tip-off is set for 6, and Game Night San Antonio helps to get you ready for it on the Blitz. In the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys could be getting some reinforcements soon in the form of tight end Blake Jarwin, as they designated him for return from the injured reserve, which opens the 21-day window for him to return to practice before they can activate him. Jarwin's been on the IR since October 31st when he injured his hip in the Cowboys' 20-16 win over the Minnesota Vikings. In college hoops, the UTSA Roadrunners beat Dallas Christian College 101-48 last night at the Convocation Center. The 14th-ranked Texas Longhorns, who are 11-2 and 1-0 in the Big 12, head to Manhattan, Kansas to take on the 8-4 and 0-1 Kansas State Wildcats, with tip-off from the Little Apples set for 6, while the Texas A&M Aggies, who are 11-2 on the season, get set to open up SEC play tonight when they take on the 5-8 Georgia Bulldogs, with tip-off from Athens set for 6 as well. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star.
America's best high school football players are coming to Texas. It's the All-American Bowl on Saturday, January 8th at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Trevor Lawrence, Ezekiel Elliott, and Micah Parsons played here. Join us for a day of exciting football to see the best of the best at the All-American Bowl, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game presented by H-E-B. 2 exciting games for $10 in the lower bowl. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Pro Football Hall of Famer and 3-time champion.
Pro Football's all-time leading rusher Emmitt Smith talks about joint pain.
Trust me, I know about joint pain. Sure, I made it look easy, but if my body could speak, it would say, I'm in pain.
Are you living with chronic joint pain? Knees, hips, lower back, shoulders? Don't just assume the old treatments are the only treatments.
I've gone under the knife to get rid of pain, but now there are options, and you need to check them out.
Emmett's talking about QC Kinetics, exciting new natural biologic therapies that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints. New options now available here.
You can encourage your body to actually heal itself with the help of QC Kinetics.
Real relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics for regenerative restorative treatments with lasting relief.
But now, you and I, we have help. QC Kinetics.
Start now with a free consultation at QC Kinetics. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Call today. 571-0318.
I need postcards printed and designed. Oh, and a targeted direct mail campaign.
It's possible at Staples.
I need my presentation printed, bound, and perfect.
Also possible. Your local Staples store can help your business navigate the future of work with custom printed sales and marketing materials. Now get 25% off custom printed labels, postcards, flyers, brochures, and more when you spend $60 or more. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 1/29 in store only. See staples.com/print for details.
If you've been hurt in a crash, do your research. You'll find plenty of lawyers out there. They'll probably do a fine job. But ask yourself, is fine really good enough for you and your family? Don't leave your case to chance. Contact Thomas J. Henry. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio to start your claim today. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. Small businesses are the backbone of America. Yet when it comes to workers' comp insurance, you rarely get the savings you deserve. That's because insurance companies tend to lump you in with other businesses, and you could get overcharged. At Pi Insurance, we're on a mission to change that. With Pi, you get a quote specific to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. If you like savings, take 3 minutes to see how much you could save at trypi.com. Pi makes workers' comp insurance as easy as pie, with friendly representatives just a call away. No wonder customers rate our service excellent on Trustpilot. You work hard to build your business and keep your employees safe. You deserve more from your workers' comp provider. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote today at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole, and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6. For lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game, get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Get the latest on what's happening on the NBA hardwood.
Behind the back dribble to the rim and the flush.
Right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250, 94.5
FM. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagel.
Hey, what's going on?
Dude, man, I'm still trying to figure out Dairy Queen tacos. Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk. She's on Twitter at NFL Charean. She's a distinguished Texas A&M Aggie. She is through and through Texan. Charean, before we talk Cowboys, have you ever got tacos at a Dairy Queen?
No. Who's done that? Who would get tacos at a Dairy Queen?
Joe Reinagel.
Charean.
If it's in San Antonio, you need to leave the city.
Exactly. Take his San Antonio card.
Wow. Charean, you've never tried them, obviously. So, with all due respect, you got to at least try one before you say that. It's a hidden gem, I'm telling you.
I think I'm willing to, because Charean, to be quite honest, a number of people have reached out throughout this show since it was revealed that Reinagel likes Dairy Queen tacos. Because again, if I'm going to Dairy Queen and I'm getting a Blizzard or whatever, one of their burgers or their steak fingers with the gravy, I see tacos on the menu, and every time I'm like, who the hell is getting tacos at Dairy Queen? And
now
I'm glad to think Charean Williams is smart enough to say, even if she was at a Dairy Queen, and I'm sure you've been many times, you're not getting a taco there.
Well, apparently I need to go try one this week. So that's on my put it on my list of things to do. I'm going to go try a taco at Dairy Queen.
Thank you, Charean. You will thank me later.
That's what he says, or cuss him and never come back on the show. I mean, probably, they've got to be better than what we saw from the Cowboys against the Cardinals, right? That was a nice segue. Charean, after the Washington game, we all kind of felt like the Cowboys had righted it and found an offensive stride. They were so bad against Arizona for 3/4 of that game. Jerry again today talking about route running. Is the issue not starting really with the offensive line and Jerry and the Cowboys staff not wanting to talk about that?
Well, yeah, I didn't think they handled Chandler Jones very well, and that was partly on Tyrant Smith coming back, and who knows how healthy he really is with that ankle. And I definitely think that should be one of the players they rest this week as they go into Philadelphia with not a ton to play for. And, I do think that's going to be a priority this week is get those guys some rest. But to me, the biggest thing about that game was their inability to run. When Dak Prescott's your leading rusher, you're in trouble. 5 carries for 20 yards. And as we know, in postseason football, running the ball is a key. And especially when you go on the road, to think that you can have Dak Prescott as your leading rusher with 5 carries for 20 yards to try to go into Green Bay and win, that's really not going to work very well. So they've got to figure this offense out in a hurry. I actually went partly to Cowboys locker room or media interview room and partly to the Cardinals. And I heard Buda Baker, and he talked a lot about disguising coverages, and they did that more this week because he said you just have to do that with Dak Prescott. And he thought they confused him a little bit. And I know Dak Prescott has poo-pooed that, so I don't know, how effective that their disguises were. But I do know this, that they weren't the same offense that we saw from a week earlier against Washington for whatever reason.
Well, Charean, that was kind of a reprieve, right? Because before that Washington game, the Cowboys offense was sputtering a little bit too.
Yeah.
So again, as Jason said, we thought, well, it was all figured out against Washington, and then they come out and they have the problems again against Arizona. So I'm wondering, as Cowboy fans, everybody tries to find a reason and blame this guy or that guy or the coach or whatever the case may be. Is Dak healthy, first and foremost, is what I want to ask you. Do you think, or is he hiding something there? And is Jerry right? Is it on the wide receivers running bad routes?
Well, I'll say this. I don't know if Dak's healthy or not. I thought there was some lingering from the calf injury when he came back initially, because he just didn't look like the same quarterback, lack of practice time, all that. Enough time has gone on that, I don't know that it's an issue. And my problem always with players saying, well, and he said repeatedly, it's not my ankle. Well, if it's not your ankle, then that just means you've not been very good. I mean, that's the bottom. That's the two choices. Either you're hurt and that's affecting you, or you just haven't played very good. And, you can't have it both ways and say, well, my calf hasn't been an issue, but I'm not in a slump, and we're not in a slump. Something's got to give. Either you are in a slump or your calf injury has affected how you've played. And so he's the only one that can address that. I do know this. He hasn't been on the practice report. If you're not on the practice report, then you're not injured, which just tells me that you just haven't played very well. But yes, you're right. This isn't something that's cropped up in the Cardinals game. To me, it's a concern because it's kind of what we've seen since he did come back from that calf injury repeatedly. Since he came back from that calf injury, sat out the one game, so he's out 2 total weeks with the bye week, and just hasn't been the same quarterback that he was in the first 6 games of the season. I think they scored 22 touchdowns in the first 6 games of the season. And when he came back, first 6 games he came back, they were at 13 touchdowns. And then the Washington game skews that a little bit. But then we saw it again in this game. So, just that inability to score in the red zone when they get down there and be consistent in this game, to me, it was a lot of the running game. And, the receivers have dropped some balls too. You talk about the route running, and you look at CeeDee Lamb, how many balls he's dropped this year. There's been a ton of them. And I think losing Michael Gallup's going to hurt him a little bit. He made the fantastic catch. The one that he was injured on was just a great catch, a great throw, great catch. But the Cowboys need to see more of that if they're going to do more than be one and done in the postseason. And that's certainly what it's looking like, because they're going to have to play Arizona again. And, I went to the gym today and I had a couple Cowboys fans say, we're glad to get Arizona back because they're not going to beat us twice in a row. I'm like, you do know Kyler's 9-0 at AT&T Stadium, right? He doesn't lose at AT&T Stadium. That's the last team I would want to play.
Gia Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk speaking the truth here on the Blitz, because that is, getting a team twice, hard to beat a team twice in a year, but that was a shorthanded, beat-up Arizona team that just from top to bottom, they were much more physical than the Cowboys. And quite honestly, Cliff Kingsbury outcoached Mike McCarthy, Vance Joseph, and Kellen Moore. And I look at Kellen Moore. We've talked about red zone issues all year. We're going into the final game of the regular season. That hasn't been fixed. And only 9 carries for Zeke, 3 for Tony Pollard. You did have 5 rushes for Dak Prescott, but your running game has to be better. Is that on Kellen Moore not calling enough run plays and just trying to force it? Because I got that, and then no deep shots that we're seeing. Is that on play calling, or is that on Dak?
Well, I think it's probably a little bit of both, and the truth is somewhere at the star. I mean, they know what the truth is, how much Dak Prescott is changing plays at the line based on what he sees. But I think they're both probably to blame at this point with what's going on. And this is where you need the head coach to kind of step in, who is a former play caller in Green Bay and wouldn't give up the play calling there. You need him to step in and try to help figure this out. But I just named Jeff Rodgers, the Cardinals special teams coach, as my coach of the week, because they had not only the fake punt, which was outstanding, but they suckered the Cowboys into calling a timeout. It was one of the greatest. Right when you think you've seen everything in football, with 4 minutes left in the third quarter, they sent the kicker on the field. He's the only special teams player they sent onto the field. It had to be a specific situation for them to do this. They practiced this specifically, but it had to be a specific situation. 4th and 5 from the 8-yard line, so they needed to be inside the 10 where the Cowboys would think that they were going to go for it. They had no intention of going for it. They were going to take the 5-yard delay of game penalty and then kick the field goal. But the Cowboys didn't cover the 3 receivers they had on the left side, who were A.J. Green and Zach Ertz and Christian Kirk, probably players that you'd want to cover, because they had some of their special teams players out there, and they had the kicker well covered on the right side, which you didn't need to worry about that. And Kyler was still in the game. If they had snapped the ball, the Cardinals had an easy touchdown, but the Cowboys quickly called a timeout. And again, I think that goes back to coaching. They were just out-coached somewhat in this game, especially in special teams. And we know that timeout became problematic for the Cowboys because when Chase Edmonds fumbled, they didn't have the timeout to challenge the fumble, would have had the ball on their own 29 with a little over 2 minutes left, plenty of time to go down there and win the game with the field goal. So, that's on coaching not to be prepared for that situation. And the Cardinals just tricked them into calling that timeout. And it turned out to be a huge thing. Usually you think, well, 4:04 left in the third quarter, it's not going to be that big of a deal. It turned out to be a huge deal when the Cowboys didn't have that timeout.
Well, it's always good to see that chess matchup and especially when something works like that. Obviously, we don't see that happen against the Cowboys, but it's really nice to see something like that. Okay, so moving on, we've got one game left in the regular season, and I think you kind of touched on this a little bit, Charean. You think the Cowboys should rest versus trying to play and maybe get a rhythm. Both Jerry and Mike McCarthy have said they're going to play to win this football game. What do you think is the truth somewhere in the middle there?
Yeah, that was my first question to Jerry after the game, and he says, "No, I want to, see momentum and us get some consistency going." And I get that, and maybe you do play them a little bit. And I realize, look, there's roster limitations going into game day. Roster limitations. You can't sit down everybody, but a guy like Tyrant Smith, you sit him down for sure. Ezekiel Elliott, I'd want him to sit down for sure. And maybe some others not so much. Maybe you let Dak go, the first quarter. I'm not playing him more than the first quarter, though. I'm getting my guys rested and ready to go into the next week and in the playoff game. But we'll see what they do. And the Eagles aren't planning probably to play most of their starters. They have a bunch of guys on COVID who will be back, but I would expect that we're not going to see those guys play. So this probably is going to be a battle of backups. The Eagles may not play their starters at all. Jalen Hurts was limited today with an ankle injury. So I don't know how much we'll see him either. So this could be a battle of the backups going in. But I those guys who were even a little bit banged up on your injury report, and that was Elliott, Pollard, and they had one other today. But Tyron Smith, the guy, I'm not playing him. And there's certain guys that I'm just not going to play, and I think they need the rest more than they need to roll the dice that they can move up and get the 3 seed or the 2 seed, which the chances of that right now are slim.
They are, and I don't even know that I'd put them on a plane and take them with me to Philadelphia if with no intention of playing. Just leave them at home and don't expose them to anything. And one advantage that, the Cowboys likely to be in a Sunday playoff time window, not Saturday, so they're going to get that extra day of rest.
I don't know about that. Cowboys are planning on it being Saturday night. That's why they think that the NFL played them this Saturday night because they're going to have the next Saturday night playoff game. That's what they think. Now, whether that happens or not, who knows? But I'm not positive they're going to be the Sunday game. They may be the Saturday night game.
Well, Charean, you're still in my thunder of wanting that extra day of rest because this Cowboys team needs it.
Yes.
They're going to need that. Get that extra day on who their opponent is. She is Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk. You can read her there, watch her on Peacock. And you're a voter for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Since the last time we talked, the 15 finalists have been announced. 3 first-year finalists, Andre Johnson, Devin Hester, and former Cowboy legend DeMarcus Ware. There seems to be a trend with the voters of a first-year guy getting in. Of those 3, which one do you expect? DeMarcus Ware?
He would be, I think he's a no-brainer. It's hard to say that for sure, but I would think that he would get in as a first ballot guy. And I think the other 2 have a legitimate chance to go in this year. When you just look at that ballot, I don't know that there's very many no-brainers where you go, this guy has to get in or that guy has to get in. So I think it's a good year for all 3 of those first ballot guys to have a chance to go in their first year of eligibility. So even Hester, I mean, he was the greatest at what he did. So I'm on his bandwagon, and we can argue whether there's a difference between first ballot or not first ballot. I'm one who says there is, and you can also argue of, whether they should have to wait or not. But a lot of receivers have had to wait when you start talking about Andre Johnson. But I think all 3 of those guys are Hall of Famers. If they don't get in this year, they're certainly going to get in the next couple of years. But all 3 have a good shot. And I think you look at a guy, we've been very good to safeties here in recent years. I think you look at a guy like Leroy Butler, who was on an all-decade team, as potentially being a guy who could finally get in this year.
Who are you presenting?
I'm not presenting anyone as far as I know. They haven't contacted me, so I would expect that Rick Goslin is going to present DeMarcus Ware, and we'll talk, and whatever he doesn't say, I'll fill in some blanks after he gets done with his presentation. The presentations do have a time limit on them. So whatever he doesn't get to, we'll discuss, and then I'll kind of fill in some blanks after that on DeMarcus. But he'll be the guy I'll definitely talk about in that. And maybe Zach Thomas, too. I may have something to say about him in his Hall of Fame candidacy.
It's incredible. I saw DeMarcus in New York a couple weeks ago on the Army-Navy Radio Row, and when we were getting ready for the interview, he just looked and says, don't talk about the Hall of Fame stuff yet. I don't want to put bad stuff out there. And, of course, the finalist hasn't been out there, but he was like, just don't talk a lot about the Hall of Fame. And I just thought, man, how cool is that from DeMarcus, just not wanting to put a lot out there, knowing that the 15 finalists were going to be announced within the next couple of weeks, but him not wanting to put too much out into the universe ahead of time. He didn't want to jump the boat, if you will.
Yeah. He didn't want to jinx it, probably. One of my favorite all-time players. I absolutely love DeMarcus, and I can't wait to see him in Canton and his speech and what he has to say. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I would expect that to be in August when he goes into the Hall of Fame.
Just a great guy. I love that guy.
Fantastic. Yeah. Charean Williams on Twitter at NFL Charean. Always appreciate the time. We will visit next week.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk. She's fantastic.
She's fantastic. I got to tell you real quick. The Cowboys used to have training camp here. Mm-hmm. Well, we were fortunate enough that we'd go on the roof at one of the hotels, one of the Marriotts, right? And we were, and at that time, the Cowboys would just finish their meetings, and so they'd bring us a player out for live at 10 o'clock. And the first time they brought me DeMarcus Ware, it was really one of those times where I'm doing this because he's larger than life guy. He's a great football player, but he's a better man. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's just a high character guy, and it was just an honor to talk to that guy. And you feel that way, and you know as well as I do, we get to interview a lot of big name stars. But there was something about DeMarcus Ware that just had me like, man, this is the greatest thing. It was awesome.
As we continue to get to know Joe, you've just led into another question for me. I mean, you really have. And I think this will be a lot of fun. I'm not even going to tell Joe what it is.
Okay.
But stick around because getting to know Joe will continue next. And we might stop with the Dairy Queen taco stuff.
I hope Joanna's out there. Bring them home.
Well,
Joanna.
Here's the thing. I texted Joanna, my wife, and said, can you stop and get Dairy Queen tacos? You know what her response was? Why? And then in the group chat, have you gotten in on the group chat yet?
I have not.
Rudy J is the Dairy Queen taco ball busting Joe is taking is brutal, and I'm here for it. And I just wrote, have you ever? Rob Thompson, nope. Rudy J, nope. Rudy said, out of my love for Joe, I'm going to try them. That's my guy. I won't even tell you Michael Jimenez because I like my job. But yeah, there's a whole lot of people who, although according to Michael Jimenez, they also have taco salads at Dairy Queen.
They do. Yeah.
Isn't that the same thing, just crunched up?
Well, you don't have the shell in there.
Oh, they don't crunch up the shell?
Not that I'm aware of.
Then what's the point?
What's the point?
Getting to know Joe. We'll continue that as we continue here on the Blitz. If he gets mad and hurts me, I know I'll end up over at TSAOG Orthopedics, because if you're dealing with any kind of injuries, if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to visit with Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics, who will join us coming up for an injury update. Dr. Espinosa is the best, treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries, and has same-day, next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There's no reason to be in pain. If you're hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com or schedule an appointment by calling 210-804-5490, 804-5490, or again online at TSAOG.com.
It's heart-stopping, rim-wrecking, ball-arching action.
All three, got it!
College hoops are happening, and we've got the action and excitement you love. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you fail to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS finds you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specialized in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts in the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Find your next amazing getaway at the South Texas RV Super Sale. Hundreds of RVs, every shape and size. Small pop-up campers to spacious motorhomes, toy haulers, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more from South Texas' best dealers. RVing will change your life. Fall in love with the unexpected joy of the No Limits RV lifestyle. Check out a free seminar. Never stop looking for your next big adventure. Discover RVing at the South Texas RV Super Sale, Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall, January 6th through the 9th. Doors open at 10 a.m.
More than 1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting your cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to cancerscreeninfo.com right now for free screening resources and recommendations from the American Cancer Society. Don't wait. Early detection can save your life. Go to cancerscreeninfo.com today. cancerscreeninfo.com.
Daisy sheds like crazy. Our hairballs have hairballs. Marquette Mama, she has dandruff and an oily coat. DINOVITE.com. I was thrilled when I heard Dinovite for Cats was coming out. If you love your pets as much as I do, you want to do what's best for them. Dinovite is a life changer. Lately, she's been a lot more playful, a lot more energetic, more active.
Dinovite for life.
You won't believe how happy your cat will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Which teams are postseason bound? Which teams will screw the pooch and blow their chance? Which will get in with a miracle win? And how could COVID mess everything up? Get the latest from around the league and stay connected. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Don't mind the brake lights. We'll get you there. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Get you right into that Texas stop sign called Dairy Queen. We'll
That's
get you
right,
there.
baby.
Good Lord, we should send them an invoice for this. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Joe Reinagel from Ken's 5, new co-host of the Blitz. This is day 2, and we're getting to know Joe.
Getting to know Joe.
And one of the things we learned earlier is his love of Dairy Queen tacos.
That's right.
Now,
Proudly, I say that.
My neighbor Hal says, I'm not going anywhere near a taco from Dairy Queen. That makes good sense. Kevin Brock, Big Kev.
Yeah.
In all caps, DQ tacos are the bomb.
Thank you, KB. You see, I love that guy. I always have. I knew he was a great guy.
Although I'm learning about people. I mean, that's what we do. You just brought up something, though, that I think this is you got nervous around DeMarcus Ware,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Now, you and I, with what we've been doing, and we've been doing this for a long time. Not together, we're on day 2 together, but, combined, we have over 50 years of sports broadcasting experience. Yeah, somebody told me that earlier, and I thought, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but we we first worked together in 1993.
That was a long time ago.
It's been a long time. So, one of the coolest parts of the job is we get to talk and interact and interview all the people that we watch on TV, and we're sports fans. I mean, this is our job, but we're still fans.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're professional when you do it. But you mentioned you were nervous around DeMarcus Ware. I still get nervous around Roger Staubach. And I've interviewed this man 20-something times. And, every year at Super Bowl, every year at Army Navy, just about. And his handlers must be really good because he'll walk up, say your name, and it's like, holy crap, Roger, that's your name, right? I mean, there's that. Troy Aikman to a degree, just because he's Troy, and Michael Jordan. Those are the 3 I've just been nervous about. With Michael Jordan, I remember what we talked about. I might have wet myself a little bit. I just remember staring at his earring going, holy, that's Michael Jordan right across from me, right? You mentioned DeMarcus Ware. Who else has made you nervous while you're doing the
Michael
interview?
Jordan was my absolute, I mean, that guy, that was incredible. Yeah, so that's one, right? And then the first time I interviewed Kobe Bryant, but the one thing about Kobe was he made you feel comfortable immediately.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just really quick.
Was it one-on-one with Kobe or was it group?
No, it was one-on-one with Kobe, yeah. And so, I got to know Kobe. And I say got to know him, but, facial, just because the Spurs were in the playoffs against the Lakers so many times when Kobe was there. So, he'd actually say, hey, Joe, when you walk
that's
by.
Cool, right?
It was awesome, right? It's like, yay, that's me. So, that was fun. But Kobe was good, but he made you feel really relaxed. Let me tell you my favorite guy to interview. My most favorite guy to interview, Jerry Jones.
Absolutely.
I love sitting down with Jerry Jones at training camp. Love it. It's the most fun interview I think I do the entire time.
Jerry is always a fun interview. You and I are both fortunate enough to say that we've had drinks with Jerry Jones.
Yes, we have.
Jerry Jones, when he's picking up the tab, that is a fun dude to be around. He throws one hell of a party.
He does. Don't try to keep up with him, though.
No.
Or you won't walk home.
You had a story, I mean, back from training camp back in the day, just one-on-one, you and Jerry, you walk into a bar, there's Jerry, and you sit down, and by the next day, he's about your room and everything.
Wait a minute. Did I tell you that?
No.
Nobody's supposed to know that.
Oh. Well, you weren't driving home, that's for sure.
No,
but
it was crazy.
But it's not uncommon to just run into Jerry by himself.
And that's what he was. And so I walked in. It wasn't very crowded in the bar. I walked in. I went over, Mr. Jones, just want to say hello. And he said, well, sit down. I did. And he started buying drinks. And we sat there and just talked about everything. His business, his family, my family. We just everything. And it was great.
He is one of a kind.
He is something else, man. I love the guy. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I think he's great. He loves the media. And the man just makes money. That's what he does. He makes money.
You can love somebody, and not think that they're good at their job.
Well,
right. I love Jerry Jones as the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't love Jerry Jones as the general manager of Dallas Cowboys.
Fair enough, yes. And I certainly don't love the fact that he's throwing his wide receivers under the bus either. So, but
they got to run better routes, man.
Yeah, well, they do. They do. Jerry is the man.
He is.
He's the man.
And you know who else? Stephen Jones.
Yeah.
Stephen Jones is going to be a hoot when he takes over. It's not going to end when Jerry goes. Like Al Davis and Mark Davis. Yeah, Jerry and Stephen are one and the same.
Yeah, they are.
They're one and the same when it comes that way.
And that's good news for us.
It certainly is. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Coming up in the 6 o'clock hour, we'll talk about Jerry and the route running, Antonio Brown, and a debate that Joe heard today at the gym, because he does that kind of thing.
I do that.
I heard something like this at gyms. Very different conversation, but ultimately the same. Plus our injury update as we continue here on the Blitz. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Didn't catch R&R in the morning? Here's what you missed.
There's really no reason to go to Atlanta. I heard the places where you feel a lot of ones are fun. Oh, yeah. I heard those are amazing in Atlanta.
Thanks for Lou.
You get some fried lemon pepper. Those got to be the best wings ever when you leave the bubble to get going. It's funny. They look like chicken, but they smell like peaches. Moving on.
Rob Thompson, Rudy J. Weekday morning 7 to 10 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Joe, I'm committed to getting into shape, working out, exercising every day.
Great idea, little fat buddy.
I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da!
The Row and Go?
It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes, schools, offices, and buildings stay in tip-top shape. Every plumbing issue, every AC problem, it's our mission to fix them as fast as we can at a fair price. From the penthouse to the outhouse, call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
The Row and Go. It's going to change the way we exercise. And here's my tagline, Row and Go. It's fitness while you do your fitness.
Make it stop.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 651-5899. That's 651-5899.
License number M13229, DACLA 000743458E.
And now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that non-contact thermometers are not accurate. They also have inaccurate information on their labels regarding accuracy. New COVID strains are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Jason Minix here for Garageanization. You've heard me tell you about their shelving, overhead racks, and storage systems to make your garage functional for the entire family. If you have issues with your garage, call 210-664-4494. Have them come out and give you a free consultation. Garageanization couldn't be a better choice. A veteran family-owned and operated business for more than a decade. Give them a call at 210-664-4494 or go to the website garageorganizationsanantonio.com.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
America's best high school football players are coming to Texas. It's the All-American Bowl on Saturday, January 8th at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Trevor Lawrence, Ezekiel Elliott, and Micah Parsons played here. Join us for a day of exciting football to see the best of the best at the All-American Bowl, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game presented by HEB. 2 exciting games for $10 in the lower bowl. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagle from Ken's TV. 6:04 now. You'll see him at the 10 o'clock news, but this is a new full-time job. New co-host, 4/7 every day.
Every day.
And day two of the new Blitz. So what we do every Tuesday about this time is we have our injury update brought to you by the good people at TSAOG Orthopedics. Talk about some of the big injuries happening in sports, and we do that. Dr. David Espinosa joining us now from TSAOG Orthopedics. Doc, how's your Tuesday?
Doing all right, fellas. How are y'all today? Happy New Year.
Well, Dr. Espinosa, I'm not doing too well, and I need some free medical advice here because it's been a rough couple of hours, and I need to know how to treat a bruised ego. Do you have anything for me?
That one may be a little above my pay
Well,
grade
all right. So, I mean, because that's kind of generic. So let's triage this situation a little bit, Dr. Espinosa. He has a bruised ego because he admitted earlier today that he likes Dairy Queen tacos. After yesterday's radio show, when he's heading over to the TV station, he said he stopped and got dinner and got Dairy Queen tacos. And I said, who in the hell in San Antonio goes to Dairy Queen and orders tacos? And Joe said he does. Would you ever order tacos from Dairy Queen?
I'm pretty confident Dairy Queen should not be allowed to sell tacos. I'm quite shocked to hear that that's even on the menu. But, in San Antonio, I imagine there's some other better options.
Well, Dr. Espinosa, with all due respect, sir, you should try them because they are delicious. And I'm just telling you, one day, if you got nothing else to do.
I would imagine, though, from a medical viewpoint, that certain things that you eat, might not be worried about your ego. It's other things with the aftermath. Let's talk about aftermath when it comes to injuries. Michael Gallup makes an incredible touchdown catch on Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals, and he doesn't get up. Suffered what they are calling a clean ACL tear. That's a new one on me, Doc. I mean, we hear about ACL tears all the time, but what does a clean tear mean?
Right. So, watching that game, when he went down, it was kind of hard to really see that mechanism. But when he kind of pushed off to catch that ball and made that incredible catch, you could see the knee very subtly pivot, and that's what led to the tear of the ACL. Now, a clean tear typically is their way of trying to say that there's no other damage. So there's no damage to the meniscus or the MCL or other ligaments that are usually involved sometimes with traumatic ACL injuries. And so when they say clean, they just mean that that's the only problem, that there's no other issues going on at the same time from that injury.
So in that respect, you obviously expect a full recovery and things should be okay.
Right. And then the complicated ones are when there is, concurrent injury with meniscus or even cartilage damage that can occur. That's when things get a little bit more hairy as far as return to play, return to sport. And in the end, they just really hope to get him back to the level of his play prior to the injury.
Now, level of play is one thing. Amount in my bank account is another. For Michael Gallup, he's a free agent, and it's January. So I imagine typical time frame is he won't be ready to go at the beginning of the season next year, and certainly not in training camp in July.
So, typically recovery can range anywhere from 6 months to 12 months. Average is typically about 9 months with return to sport. But, they've really made a lot of advancements. And again, the ideal situation is that it's only the ACL that they're worrying about. So once that graft has time to heal and they're able to rehab him and get him back up to speed, hopefully, probably mid-season, I'd imagine, by the time they get him back to playing.
Dr. Espinosa, with something like that, and it's such a major surgery and a major injury, obviously, we always hear athletes talk about how hard it was going through the rehab process and getting back to where they can play and get back on the field. Is it a difficult process to make it all the way back?
That is definitely the hard part. Obviously the pain from surgery and then, that initial healing phase, but the hardest part, especially to get to that level, of that elite level of play, because not only do, the graft needs to heal, the musculature needs to strengthen up, and then he needs to kind of regain all his balance and his agility, the ability and everything. But on top of all that is confidence, the mental confidence to kind of go out there and make that cut and make that pivot and twist, to make those acrobatic catches that he made, in the corner of the end zone there. And so that's the other main component when he's getting back to playing, just to have that, feel of that need, make sure that it's not going to buckle underneath him. And again, that confidence that goes with it.
Talking with Dr. David Espinosa from the Sports Institute at ESAOG Orthopedics, our weekly injury update here on the Blitz. Heading into bowl season, you had a lot of players opting out, especially those that are going to be drafted high. One guy that said, I want to play. I want to be out there with my team is Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral, who got hurt in the first quarter of the game. It looked gruesome. Turns out it was just a sprained ankle. X-rays were negative. They are doing an MRI to determine the severity of the sprain, but ultimately it looks like he avoided disaster as he gets ready for the draft. But dealing with that kind of a sprained ankle, and as bad as that looked, knowing he's got all his team workouts coming up, do you expect that ankle to be an issue through the draft process for him?
Well, so, like you said, initially they, stadium, they'll get some x-rays, but those films aren't typically the best, right? And so that's why they're following it up with an MRI, because the x-rays will rule out any fracture associated with the sprain, but the MRI is really going to take a good look at all those ligaments and to make sure and then help differentiate between a low ankle sprain and a high ankle sprain, right? And then the high ankle sprains are a little bit higher up, just above that ankle joint, and those can be a little bit more tedious to heal from and a little bit more tedious to recover from with the rehabilitation process. And so that MRI is really going to give them a good look to see, okay, how much of an issue is this going to be going on for? But even if it's, a high ankle type sprain that does not require any type of surgery, then he should be good to go for combine, draft day and all that good stuff.
That's good. Now, this may be way off the beaten path. I'm not sure, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Sure.
When you're talking about the difference between, let me just put it this way. I've always heard that it's better from a healing process to break something than to sprain something. Is that true?
In a way. So, because when you break something, it's like, okay, it's broken. We're shutting it down. You're getting a cast, you're getting a boot, and you are not weight bearing, you're not doing anything on that. And that registers with the athlete and the patient, right? They kind of know, okay, it's broken, I can't do anything, right? When there's a sprain, you look at the x-ray and you say, okay, well, it's not broken, so I can probably do some stuff. And that's where it kind of becomes an issue, is where, the patient may not, adhere to the resting protocol or rest long enough for the ligaments to heal. And so they start trying to push it a little bit sooner. And then that's where you kind of get the chronic issues from these ankle sprains. Right. And but when you break something, you just completely shut it down, it heals, and then everything else associated with it heals. And then, it's kind of more of a mental thought process about, whether or not it's better or not. But, it makes it more cut and dry, essentially.
So what I'm hearing is a sprain is kind of like deciding you want tacos from Dairy Queen for dinner. Kind of messy, kind of sloppy, but ultimately it will work out.
That ego's getting further bruised, Doc, I'll tell you.
Theoretically.
Well, it can't be more bruised than Baker Mayfield after his disastrous season. A lot of injuries. He is going to have surgery on that labrum that he's been playing through since week 2. A torn left labrum since week 2, and he makes it all the way up. He might shut it down and not play in the final game. Should we give him a ton of credit for battling through that kind of injury and not shutting it down sooner, or look at this year and call it, dude, man, you hurt yourself when it comes to your future in Cleveland and maybe free agency?
Yeah, that's definitely the hard situation with what he was going through. I mean, he's trying to gut it out. He's trying to be there for his team and all that, but at the same time, I mean, you missed the playoffs. You weren't playing your best, and then how much did that injury lead to that performance? It's hard to say, but he didn't do himself any favors, and then. Depending on the extent of the labral damage, typically a smaller problem is easier to fix than a bigger problem, right? And then with all those shots that he took the rest of the season, I mean, how much more damage did they potentially create, which could, again, obviously affect the free agent status and then who all is willing to take a chance on him.
Going to be interesting to see how it works out for one Baker Mayfield. Dr. David Espinosa with the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. They're online at tsaog.com. Always appreciate the insight and restaurant reviews, Doc. We'll appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'll have to watch out for those tacos now, okay?
Well, the scary part is, appreciate it, Doc. My wife just walked in and actually stopped and got.
Yes, she did.
Tacos from Dairy Queen.
Isn't that the best thing you've ever seen?
No. Are you? I'm a little afraid of what's going to happen here. Well, here, man. I know you haven't had dinner yet.
Well, I mean, you got to try one. I know they're good.
I am gonna try one.
Okay. There's probably some good hot sauce in that bag too. So.
There may be. Oh, look, Joanna's going to put them on a plate because I'm already making a mess.
Boy, this is a big moment in Blitz history.
It is.
I'm telling you. This is outstanding because
although she didn't go all out because she only bought 3. I mean, so it's not like she was there and said, "All right, well, I guess that's our dinner tonight. Let me get 12 of these."
She wasn't having any of that.
No, and I'm all right. So we are doing a live review now. I don't know which Dairy Queen did you stop at? On West and Blanco. Okay. All right, grab one. And I'm going to grab one.
Okay.
And if you're watching on video on Facebook Live or on
this is exciting.
Did it just completely fall apart on you?
It did, yes.
I mean,
so that's okay though. That's what makes it good.
All right. So they're apparently $1 on Thursdays.
Yes.
Is what they're selling us. How much were these 3 tacos? $5.99.
$5.99.
Wow.
And worth every penny.
The amount of free publicity that Dairy Queen has gotten on this show today.
That is outstanding. Joanna, you should really try one.
Actually, that's not bad.
It's not bad, right?
I can't lie.
I'm telling you. Look at that.
I don't know if they're good or if I'm just shocked.
They're delicious.
I don't know about that.
Yes.
They're good.
I mean, look at this.
Delicious.
They so when the shell comes, they put about 20% of meat on the shell surface. Like I'm going to go back to my Navy days. When you see a Navy ship,
right.
haze gray underway, and then you've got the black line across the bottom, and then you see a bunch of numbers. Well, that's the number of feet that are going down. So when you need fuel, it rises up. So so as I'm looking at this, thinking about this, there is a lot more shell here. The meat to shell ratio is limited. Let's just say that.
I agree with that. They should add more meat.
I mean, because I just one of these bites, you're getting nothing but lettuce and cheese.
Well, that's okay too.
Well,
I don't think my mic's here. Sorry, it wasn't by my there.
Radio 101, man.
All right, it is. What is today?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, the 4th?
The 4th day.
Jason Minix finally went outside the box and tried something new, and he likes it. So there you go. Write this down in Blitz history.
On this day in Blitz history. Look at that.
Look at
that. Much all that. There's no more meat.
Yeah, but it's okay. Well, you got meat on your plate.
Well, it's because it broke out the bottom. I mean,
that's why
this is great. This is great radio, by the way.
Break the shell apart and scoop up the meat.
Like I've never eaten a taco before.
Well, obviously not.
I mean, it is one of those. Joanna, do you want this one? She said no.
Are we still on the air?
Oh, we are. I mean, typical Blitz fashion.
Yes.
Everybody's eating but James Pledger, who's probably the hungriest of the group. Yeah, we got napkins and everything.
Oh, thank you.
Thank goodness.
Yes. Quick review.
That was a good one-time.
Joanna, he'll be back. I promise.
Well,
He's hooked now.
If you're starving and you pass by a Dairy Queen, you're now going to think about a DQ taco.
I guarantee
I'm not going to think about a DQ taco. If I'm stopping at Dairy Queen, I'm getting steak fingers. Still, this is not said, you know what? There's a new menu item I'm willing to try.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am what? Oh, they were fast.
There you go.
All right. So it's interesting because Billy Ross Hill from Hill Electric just sent me an email, said he went to Dairy Queen tonight only because it's my twins' birthday and that's what they wanted.
Tacos.
25 minutes later, got tacos though. I mean, so they might be fast there, but I say if I'm going to Dairy Queen, and I am very much this dude, every place I go to, I'm getting the same thing every time I go. If I have found it, I like it. I don't try. Well, I had this last time. Let me get this time, right? That's I typically, if I find something I like, I go with it. These did not change my mind as far as what I would order at Dairy Queen. It's still going to be steak fingers, unless, of course, they somehow figure out and start putting that great gravy on the tacos.
You could probably ask for that.
You probably could, because that would actually make them somewhat more enjoyable than what I just had.
Well, everybody listening is jealous.
No, they're not.
They are.
They're really not.
They know how delicious these tacos are. And what a treat for me.
What
2 days in a row.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah, Maggie is really going to be sending a nasty text to Joanna.
Yeah.
That's not what she's saying. I mean, you had these tacos 2 days in a row. I mean, at least tomorrow we're in the studio. We're going to be 6 feet apart.
Yeah. Well, I'll be out of here before these kick in, so you're all right.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Feel bad for whoever's got to share the dressing room with you tonight at Ken's.
Woo! Boy, what a treat.
Yeah.
Now I'm happy.
Your eyes are watering. I mean,
I'm happy you got to experience
I don't know if you're happy or you're really pissed that she actually stopped and got him.
No, I'm glad she did. Are you kidding me? That was great. Thank you, Joanna.
Rick's Barbecue and Specialties on our YouTube live, watching on YouTube. By the way, great profile picture. Steak fingers with the trophy emoji.
Okay.
See, again, the steak fingers at Dairy Queen I'm down for.
I'm not saying they're bad.
And I'm not saying that I'm going to be a little disappointed that Joanna, she was at Dairy Queen and didn't come home with steak fingers. It's like if you go to Bush's Chicken, I don't care what you're getting, but you better get some gizzards in the box.
Oh, my gosh.
And bring those home.
Gizzards?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a guy that eats gizzards, but I don't want these tacos. Yeah. Go ahead and beat the crap out of me for that.
Gizzards.
They're fantastic.
There's something.
Dude, whatever.
Huh?
Yeah.
There's something.
That's awful.
Gizzards?
Yes.
No, gizzards are great, man. Especially, you got to get good gizzards. If they've been sitting there.
How do you know a good gizzard from a bad one?
They come right out of the fryer. They haven't been sitting there for a couple hours.
I need the good, bad part of the chicken.
Yeah, can you look at a chicken and say, that one's got a good gizzard?
That one's got good gizzards right there. Absolutely. Fried everything.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, Fred Villarreal, he should be in our sales department. Joe's going to want to remote at Dairy Queen next.
Absolutely.
Dude, set it up, man. We'll go wherever.
Are you kidding? We'll eat tacos and blizzards all day long.
And steak fingers.
And some steak fingers, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I will once again sit on the other side of this and just be jealous.
Now, I got to say something, and I don't know what this means about these tacos, but my dog doesn't move much. She's old. She doesn't hear anything, so she doesn't know that my wife is home. but she literally just came over, did a lap around the table, and is walking around there because there must be a certain smell that has awakened the dog, and now she's trying to escape.
She's trying
into
to
the
leave.
bedroom. She's trying to go outside. I mean, you saw that. I mean, this dog doesn't move much. And all of a sudden, Princess is up and walking around, and now she's going to the other part of the house. Like I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm leaving.
Wow. Even the dog is leaving me on this one. Well, you like it, and you don't have to admit it on air. That's fine.
You already did.
They were better than I thought they were going to be.
Are you recording that pledge?
Oh, no,
Everything is recorded.
I've already recorded the first part where he said, wow, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
These are actually good.
Beautiful.
Did I say that?
Yes,
or did I say they were better than I thought?
No, you said they were good.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
They
were good.
Honestly,
they're good.
That's a stretch. They're not great. They're not fantastic. I would eat them again. Rob Thompson would eat these.
Yeah.
Rudy J would eat these. And they're very different, not even comparable to Jack in the Box tacos.
Oh, Jack in the Box doesn't compare.
No, you're right.
It
Because
does at 2 a.m.
If I was looking for some fast food out of a drive-through window tacos, I still think Jack in the Box would win. Because I know if I'm going for a subpar taco, I want to go for the best.
You just had one right there, buddy.
You know, some people got that. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I think some people could be getting arrested for ordering tacos at Dairy Queen. If you get yourself arrested for bad decisions, you need to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, because people get arrested every day for all kinds of reasons. You get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, because you do. Best thing to do is call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747. Or you can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available. They offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, anywhere in between, license number 149. Hard to do a commercial when you got Dairy Queen tacos in your mouth. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com. Get a Sports Center update from James Pleasant. I'm glad I got through that.
Well,
You're watching on video. You saw how many slugs of water Ryan Eagle was taking trying to wash that down. Bail me out, Pledge.
It's so good. I needed a gallon of water to wash it down.
Now look how red his face has gotten. So, yeah.
Well, the San Antonio Spurs are north of the border right now as they're taking on the Toronto Raptors. San Antonio's 14-21 and has lost 3 straight, looking to snap that against the Raptors team that's 16-17 and have won 2 straight. Devin Vassell just hit a 3, which put the Spurs up 25-24 currently with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Taking a look at some college basketball action last night, the UTSA Roadrunners beat Dallas Christian College 101-48 at the Convocation Center, led by Jordan Ivy Curry's 17 points, in which he scored in just 18 minutes. Lamine Sabally added 15 points in 16 minutes in the win, which improved the Roadrunners to 8-7 on the year. Taking a look right now at some other college basketball action, the 14th-ranked Longhorns trail the Kansas State Wildcats 23-16 out in the Little Apple, while the Texas A&M Aggies lead Georgia in their SEC opener 24-19. I'm James Pledger.
Come to the South Texas RV Super Sale. Hundreds of RVs, every shape and size. Pop-up campers to spacious motorhomes, toy haulers, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more. The South Texas RV Super Sale, Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall, January 6th through the 9th. Doors open at 10 a.m.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Texas Cheer Liquor, your one-stop shop for beer, liquor, wine, and cigars. Follow them on Facebook to keep up with specials and tastings. 4 locations, 2 on Petranco, 1 past 211, 1 in 90 in Montgomery, and the all-new Texas Cheer Liquor next to Walmart Palo Alto Road, Suite 101.
With the Peloton bike, there's always something new to try. We're adding new music to our artist series, new disciplines like boxing.
Fight your way through. Let's make it count.
So many new workouts to try on and off the bike.
Let's go, Peloton family.
There's always something new to keep you motivated. For a limited time, get a $550 value on the Peloton Bike Plus. $300 off plus free delivery and setup, a $250 value. All access membership separate. Limited time offer until January 9, 2022. Free delivery only available in continental U.S. Terms apply.
Gentlemen, now you can find the best brands and fits for you without even trying. Just follow these easy instructions. Step 1, shop a personalized store that does all the work for you by customizing a selection for your taste and body. Step 2, level up your closet with the best brands and fits with little to no effort. Not trying has never looked so good. Introducing Stitch Fix Freestyle, your personalized store. We're so you.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas.
Small businesses are the backbone of America. Yet when it comes to workers' comp insurance, you rarely get the savings you deserve. That's because insurance companies tend to lump you in with other businesses, and you can get overcharged. At Pi Insurance, we're on a mission to change that. With Pi, you get a quote specific to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. If you like savings, take 3 minutes to see how much you could save at trypi.com. Pi makes workers' comp insurance as easy as pie, with friendly representatives just a call away. No wonder customers rate our service excellent on Trustpilot. You work hard to build your business and keep your employees safe. You deserve more from your workers' comp provider. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote today at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
The play is in. The Blitz with Joe Reinagle and Jason Minix. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
That's up. I ate that second taco.
He sure did in record time.
That was a bad idea. I really just wanted more lettuce and cheese.
Yeah, whatever.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagle. I don't know how Dairy Queen tacos have taken over the show, but on Twitter, Jason C. Delgado tweets in, at Jason Minix. I have to say, being from SA, at Joe Cans 5 is right on. They are different. But being that they are crunchy tacos, they are better than what 80% of the restaurants try to pass off.
Wow.
Problem, dude, is I don't know how crunchy ours really were. Now, granted, they had to travel, and you know, certain things aren't meant to travel. But the They did lack some crunch.
Well, again, you've got to have them, where either eat them there or, I only had to take them across the street to the station, so it wasn't far.
Yeah. It's again.
It's still delicious regardless.
Even your wife texted you.
Right.
And what was her text? I don't want to misquote Miss Maggie.
Well, she said that she likes Taco Bell. And so
she could understand the love of tacos if it were Taco Bell. She could understand this conversation if we were talking about Taco Bell tacos, not Dairy Queen tacos.
But Maggie, if it says Taco Bell, you could wrap a potato in it and she'd love it. I mean, she likes Taco Bell.
Really?
It's incredible.
And you married her anyway.
Well, nobody's perfect, although she's close.
Careful, newlywed. Well, you get a blizzard later.
Yes.
It's going to be cold. Man, that's a whole nother debate.
Right.
And again, I mean, if it's fast food, it's
hey. I'm telling you. Well, I'm glad that.
But again, though, at least
your eyes were open today, and so that's good.
Did I just? And somebody on Twitter, correct me if I'm wrong. I saw this over the holidays. Is the Mexican pizza coming back to Taco Bell?
Wow, I don't know. I will call Maggie. She'll know.
Well, will she know? Does she get the alerts?
I think she gets texts.
I saw that over the holidays, and see now those are good. Pledge probably can devour 86 pizzas from Taco Hell. I don't know if they're good or if I'm just shocked.
They're delicious.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I didn't say they were good. I did not say they were good.
I think you did.
No. Play it again.
Context matters.
Play it again. I don't know if they're good or if I'm just shocked.
Well, what are you shocked about? You're shocked that they're good.
No, that they weren't awful. that they weren't just awful, and they certainly aren't delicious.
Well, they're delicious. Okay.
I will say this. You can find out if something is good or not. And I would assume it's this way at a TV station. But when some restaurant brings a bunch of food and just leaves it in the break room at a radio station, if there's anything left after about an hour, it wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
Yeah. I mean, because at the radio station, man, everything gets devoured within seconds. I mean, we're vultures.
I think you can combine all media people in that. Yeah, because we're all vultures. And, it's gone. You bring something into a radio station, a newsroom, it's gone.
So on that premise, I have a question. Are there any tacos left after that break?
No, because Minix ate the last one. That's how good they are, Pledge.
Okay. You brought up the point. I'm just driving it home.
Thank you.
I mean, it was here. I'm hungry.
It was here.
I needed some more lettuce and cheese in my life.
Are you kidding me?
I finished that one off.
Oh, he's going to send Joanna out for more.
No, but it is pretty telling that my wife, who could have just, because she's doing dinner tonight, could have just got dinner while she was at Dairy Queen and just brought 3 tacos home for this little taste test. I mean, she could have bought the steak fingers. She could have got herself a burger or salad, or apparently they have those there too. Little surprised, and she didn't even come home with ice cream.
Well, you had the tacos.
I did. I'm guessing Antonio Brown. This is a bad segue. Probably hasn't had Dairy Queen tacos.
I bet you he likes Dairy Queen tacos.
I doubt it, because I mean, look at the guy. He's in incredible shape. I mean, we all saw that the other day. He took his shirt off in the middle of a game. I mean, he's in good shape. The debate on what he did, so many different ways that it goes. All the different talking heads on TV this morning, of all the different things that have happened, friends that are texting, man, what do you think of this? And you said you were at the gym earlier. That's all that anybody was talking about was Antonio Brown.
It's crazy. We're in a group of guys, and we're standing around, and everybody starts talking about Antonio Brown and what he did. And, hey, did you see that? And so the conversation evolves into, well, it's just players today. They don't want to be told what to do. and they don't want to be disrespected. And if the story's true that, the coach told Antonio Brown to either get back in the game or get out of here, well, he got out of there, and he doesn't want to be disrespected. And then, somebody else comes in and, well, you're playing for this team. You're getting paid by this team. You need to do what you're told. And so the whole conversation went around as to, again, players today, and we've had a lot of that conversation over the last week or so, they're just a different breed. And especially when you get up to the NFL level or the NBA level or any pro sport level, they don't want to be told what to do. So that's how the conversation went. And so it was back and forth like that. But what I found fascinating, Jason, was the fact that I didn't bring anything up. Nobody knew that we had talked about it yesterday. But that's what everybody was talking about in the gym.
I look at this and, part of me, I don't want to become the get off my lawn guy. I don't want to become the old guy talking about those kids in my day, and I used to have to do bear crawls across the band parking lot, and we got 2 water breaks during football practice during 2-a-days. I don't want to sound like that guy. But I am becoming that guy. As we get older, we see how young people do it. And then I think about, like things that my dad or his age when we were kids, like you guys have no idea, and we're both old enough. At one point, we were the remote, right?
Absolutely.
We drank out of water hoses. We played street football. We, walked, climbed to a lot of places. And kids today are different. I know you've got, 5?
A bunch, yeah.
You got 5 daughters?
5 daughters.
He's got 5 daughters.
But they're all grown now.
Yeah,
so.
I've got one who's 23. And so, I mean, when you're around their friends enough, you kind of, it kind of keeps you young, but keeps you in touch. So when I hear athletes today, when was the last time that guy was in a locker room? Because I do think there is the don't respect me.
Sure.
But wasn't it always that way? Well, I mean, it was always that way. You go back and you can find stories from every generation from athletes who would get into it with coaches, outside of the Bear Bryant days,
sure.
But there were guys that would challenge Tom Landry. I think about Hollywood Henderson and some of those stories and, Michael Irvin or Emmett, and those Cowboy teams with Jimmy Johnson. Now, Jimmy, you talk about, it's a famous story. Everybody's heard it. Cut a dude that wasn't going to make a team, left him on the tarmac, right?
Right.
It was, what was it? What if Emmett would have fallen asleep in the meeting? Well, we'd have got a pillow and turned out the lights. I mean, there's always been that to a degree. But what we saw with a guy quitting in the middle of the game, we've never seen that. I mean, that's the part that, this goes a lot deeper than just today's players are too entitled.
Well, yeah, I think there's something wrong with Antonio Brown mentally. I think he's got some issues, and you can get into the whole mental health debate.
Did you see him last night at the
Brooklyn Nets game?
Yeah. He was sitting courtside wearing sunglasses, hoping not to be noticed.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the problem that I have. Look, I don't want anybody to be disrespected. I know athletes are different now. Especially on the pro level, you don't have to necessarily yell at them or discipline them or whatever the case may be. I get all that. But the only reason Antonio Brown was playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is because Tom Brady wanted him to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Antonio Brown, what he did, first of all, he disrespected Tom Brady. All right. Arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. He disrespected Tom Brady and basically said, yeah, sorry, I'm out because I was disrespected. Second of all, Antonio Brown was playing good football.
Yeah.
All right. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are banged up at wide receiver. So not only does he let Tom Brady down, he lets all the guys in that locker room down, every single one of them. So my problem is, while he's worried about getting disrespected, he disrespected everybody in that organization.
He did. And again, they're selfless. It's check eye at the door, all those different coaching cliches, and he violated that.
Oh.
Now, granted, Antonio Brown can help you win football games.
Sure.
And, every program will talk about, man, we want good character guys, want guys that are going to be teammates. BS. if you can help us win football games, you can be here and we'll deal with it.
Dallas Cowboys have done well with that.
They certainly have. And, they've been burned, a time or 18, sure. and it's worked out for some guys. But and as a fan, we go back and forth with how much should we care? It's nice to say, yeah, they're good guys on my team. I'm rooting for a team of good guys. And as a Cowboy fan who's also a Spurs fan, I'm often very conflicted there because the Spurs have always been, for the most part, a bunch of good guys.
That's true.
Cowboys are different. I used to always say, if you sack the quarterback, man, go for it, man. You're not going to date my daughter. I'm not going anywhere with you. I really,
sure,
to a degree, don't care what kind of person you are off the field. I mean, it'd be nice if you weren't a dirtbag, but if you're going to sack the quarterback, go get him. If you're going to catch touchdown passes, go get him. And, look at Tom Brady. This guy lived in his house.
Yeah.
I mean, with his wife, his kids are all there, and you're moving them in. He got him a Super Bowl, though.
He did.
He helped that team win a Super Bowl. The fact that it lasted almost 2 years is probably, what do you figure? This off number, 30 games with the Buccaneers, which is probably 20 more than any of us thought would happen.
Well, yeah, but, I've always been an Antonio Brown fan. From when he played with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was great. He and Roethlisberger had a chemistry like nobody else. And so I love the guy. I really do. And then he had his issues there. And then when he came back, when Brady, again, brought him to the Patriots, because that's exactly what happened. And for whatever reason, I guess Brady, took this guy under his wing. I don't know if they were friends before or how that relationship went. But Antonio Brown, in my opinion, owes Tom Brady a couple of jobs.
Yeah.
He owes him that. Because if it wasn't for Brady, I promise you, I can't speak for New England, but I have a feeling Brady was responsible for that. But I know this Tampa Bay Buccaneer job was all Tom Brady. Brady wanted Antonio Brown, so the Bucs said, okay, we'll bring him in.
And how much did Bruce Arians and the GM, Jason Light, and all those guys have to bend over and placate to a guy like Antonio? Because that's what Tom Brady wanted. But again, it's Tom Brady.
Right.
If Tom Brady wants something as an organization, one, you're giving him $50 million to come here and win a couple of Super Bowls. And, if that's what he says he wants, then you're going to have to deal with it and go get it. I just look at today's athlete and say, I still think Antonio Brown and what we saw yesterday is more of a one-off with a guy who has shown signs of not being mentally well for years.
Right.
And in this case, Tom Brady is, in fact, an enabler for keeping them in that spotlight because clearly the structured environment that an NFL team offered still didn't work for Antonio Brown.
Well, you got to figure, he kept his nose clean, so to speak, or he kept his emotions in check for a little while, right? And then as the Bucs started to they lose Godwin, right? He's out. He's done for the season. Mike Evans is banged up. You got Antonio Brown, who just the game before caught 10 balls for 130 yards or something like that.
I look at Antonio Brown, and we don't know the truth.
No, we don't.
And that's we've got a he said, she said type situation because there are those that are saying, and according to reports, that he said, my ankle isn't right, I don't want to go back in. There are others that say he was, especially with this 17th game, in line to hit 3 different incentive levels, which would have paid him collectively $1.2 million. All 3 were like $333,000 or whatever. And 1 touchdown away, a reasonable amount of yards for him. Like all of them are attainable. And it was, we're not playing you because we don't want to give you this bonus money in the regular season. So we don't know really what the truth is. Was he wanting to get back in and they were holding him out and he was getting pissed because that was going to cost him money, which makes sense versus, Coach, my ankle ain't right. Well, if you can't get out, I
don't buy either one of those. And I'll tell you why. $1 million to an NFL football team is like me and you pulling out a $10 bill. They do it all the time.
Just spent $5 on tacos.
Well, exactly. So, and I appreciate that too, by the way, Minnick's family. But the money, come on.
Well,
if it was a $5 million bonus or something like that, maybe I see it. But $300,000 in the NFL these days, come on.
Although for a guy like Antonio, you're right. Most of the time, $1 million to those guys is nothing. And my goodness, if they need $1 million, if they need $10,000, whatever. You do an autograph show for an hour, and you pay your rent. I mean, right. there's ways for those guys to make money. Although Antonio has had so many legal issues and has settled so many civil type suits that I wonder if that $1 million was actually needed.
Well, I don't know. He's sitting courtside in Brooklyn the very next day, so I'm sure those tickets aren't cheap.
I'm sure he didn't pay for them.
Who gave them to him?
Hey, he's got friends over there. I mean, you know how these.
Would you give up your courtside seats to Antonio Brown?
Well, if I had courtside seats, no, I wouldn't give them up to you.
Of course not.
But the celebrity aspect of things. I mean, who knows whose agent he shares with or whatever. But
well, if I'm his agent, I'm pissed. Right, because I'm done with Antonio Brown because he's never going to work in the NFL again.
We say that he can still win football games.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I
mean, we've seen it too many times.
We say
guys,
and he may be on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week.
I mean, it's probably made up. Got him back on or a team that needs to sign somebody.
Yeah,
could sign somebody. I mean. Think about some of the knuckleheads that have rolled through the NBA, and you go, "How's that guy got a job?"
That's very
And then
true.
they're getting jobs again because they don't have enough players. They end up with all these 10-day contracts. Pledge is saying we got to get out of here. You know what we do have are Monster Jam tickets to give away. You want to do that now or on the other side, Pledge?
Do it now.
Your call.
Do it now.
All
Don't
right.
know how much time we have on the other side.
All right, so we'll do it now. January 14th, 15th, Monster Jam happening in the Alamo Dome. If you want to go Dairy Queen tacos, is there a number to associate with that? 3 come in the boat. Well, what do you want to go, 6 or 16? What are you showing me? 15?
I was showing you 6 because they cost $6.
Oh, look at
the Dairy Queen taco is $5.99.
We round up here on the Blitz.
We do.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how hard Pledge needs to work at the end of the show. Do we call our number? What's your favorite number, Joe?
Well, I got a lot of favorite numbers.
Of course you do.
Depends on where I'm at.
Cody Carlson, caller 14, 656 ESPN, just for Joe Reinagel, 656-3776, caller 14, you get a pair of Monster Jam tickets. After those Dairy Queen tacos, if things don't go well, you know where I'm going to be, right? If I have any issues with the plumbing, there's one company I'm going to call, and that is Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. If you're having issues with plumbing, your heater, your air conditioner, and this week you might need both your heater and your AC. At Quarter Moon, they are full service. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. At Quarter Moon, they have a great staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. No commission sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
The 2021 Bowl celebration is on. It's nonstop fourth-quarter action all season long, from the Cotton and Orange Bowls all the way to the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, presented by Ewald Kubota on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, give me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is
I know
exponential.
we're a couple of accountants short.
He
but-
needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you love your garage? Can you get your cars and the kids' bikes in? Jason Minix here for Garageization, your garage storage solution. With a variety of shelving, overhead racks, slat walls, and closed cabinet options, Garageization can make your garage functional for the entire family. Call 210-664-4494 and have them give you a free customized plan for your family's needs. For over a decade, Garageization has helped people love their garage. Learn more online at GarageOrganizationSanAntonio.com.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 11 locations and check out the new Kubota L2501 package deal, which includes a four-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package specials at ewaldkubota.com.
BC Powder knows life pushes us to the max.
Work to the max. Family to the max. It can all mean pain to the max. So BC introduces new BC Max Strength. New BC Max relieves tough headaches and body pain at the speed of powder. Nothing stronger on pain without a prescription. Pain to the max? New BC Max. In a great tasting lemonade flavor.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
And Doug.
Don't you just love the smell of old books?
Shh, this is a library.
Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction.
He really does devour literature.
Please leave.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Pro Football Hall of Famer and 3-time champion.
Pro Football's all-time leading rusher Emmitt Smith talks about joint pain.
Trust me, I know about joint pain. Sure, I made it look easy, but if my body could speak, it would say, I'm in pain.
Are you living with chronic joint pain? Knees, hips, lower back, shoulders? Don't just assume the old treatments are the only treatments.
I've gone under the knife to get rid of pain, but now there are options, and you need to check them out.
Emmitt's talking about QC Kinetics, exciting new natural biologic therapies that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints. New options now available here.
You can encourage your body to actually heal itself with the help of QC Kinetics.
Real relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics for regenerative restorative treatments with lasting relief.
But now, you and I, we have help. QC Kinetics.
Start now with a free consultation at QC Kinetics. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Call today. 571-0318.
At Thomas J. Henry Law, we strive to provide the highest level of service in the industry. But don't take our word for it. See what our clients have to say. With more than 2,700 five-star Google reviews, Thomas J. Henry is among the highest-rated attorneys in town. Don't leave your case to chance. Contact Thomas J. Henry today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Ribs, burgers, chicken. Submit what you cooked on the grill or smoker, and you can win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market. Grilling with the Blitz. Online at sasportstar.com.
This is Rudy J on your home for Cowboys football. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Make sure and wake up with R&R tomorrow morning. Rob Thompson, Rudy J from 7 to 10. Michael Jimenez with halftime from noon to 2. Then the Blitz, 4 to 7.
Goes.
Say again?
They'll all be eating Dairy Queen tacos.
I doubt that. Spurs up. Oh, Spurs are down big. Joe Reinagel will give you the updates tonight at 10 on Channel 5. Good night, everybody.
I can't wait to watch you guys play.
We're ready for y'all.
Let's go.
The NFL playoff